I'm scarred for life, but I'm set for life, and I'm set for life, but I'm scarred for life, and I'm coming at you. I'm fucking crazy. I'm fucking psycho, fucking insane. That's the fucking chorus right there.
You nailed it,
That is
dude.
good.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it, and you visually transformed into fucking Joe Rogan there,
You
dude.
did.
You fucking,
Oh, Joe Rogan. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you did. You visually transformed
That's
yourself into Joe Rogan. It was amazing.
Howdy do, Lord of the Halls. Yes, I am here, King Adhawk, hosting this show. If you are out there in the Twitch stream, in the Twitch arena, please feel free to join with me, combine our forces, and together we will rule the world. We can do it. Excuse me, something in my throat. But seriously, waiting for my friends to show up, adorning some jewelry. And I'm King Adhawk, as you can see, pointed right there. And in case you wondered what's going on, where my cohorts are at, they, well, I'm going to leave that a mystery because they may pop up and be able to tell you themselves. That is, we shall see. That will, time will only tell. This will remain a mystery. In the meantime, I'm here. I'm lonely, and I'm looking for some lovers. If I have any lovers, if there are any lovers out there, tell me your lovely name in the chat, in the comments section. I'll be looking for you. You can private message me if you like as well. And we will have some sexy time chats during this conversation. I am not shy to do that, and I will respect all of your boundaries. So, just saying. No fear. This is a no shame zone in the big room. It always has, always will be. You be you. Bring yourself. Show up to the party and be ready to party. Now, one of the things we always ask each other in the big room is what are we drinking? So we're always wondering that. And tonight we're doing the hometown style, baby. Just Americana style with nothing but the ML light up in the house right here, and a little bit of, which is this Old Number 7 brand. Now, Jack Daniel's has a sour mash that is a little less sweet than this if you buy the green label. And most of the time, I don't like my liquor sweet. But you know what? When it comes to Old Number 7, I think this is a magical recipe, and I really enjoy it. Nice bouquet. Very whiskey-like. Bourbon. Bourbon, that is. Bourbon. Bourbon. Well, is it a bourbon? So it just says whiskey. Just says whiskey. Thought it was a bourbon whiskey. I always get those confused. Whatevers. Can everybody hear me out there? Throw your hands up, straight in the air. Swing to the right. Savoir faire. Let me see you. Let me see you. Are you out there? All right. That's what I want to see. Some hands up in the air. Not coming through the cans real well, but wanted to pick those up and make sure that I was being picked up over the airwaves. Now, I would like to reiterate how lonely I am right now. And if anybody's out there to pop in and say hi, please say hello in the comments. We will have a full-on conversation. TT Randall, all right. LOL, I haven't stopped by in a while, but I think you grew some hair on your chest. Drinking that JD. Well, let's check. Cameraman, zoom in. Zoom. Cameraman. Cameraman is not paying attention, but yeah, I got a few on there. And you know, I attribute all this hair on my chest to eating all the crusts of the bread. That is what that is what, because they always, I don't know, my family would tell me if you ate the crust on the bread that or maybe that's what I told them, because I didn't want to eat the crust, and I was like, man, it's gonna put hair on my chest. Huh? But no, yeah, this is old wives' tale, I believe. I don't think it puts hair on your chest, but if it does, I wouldn't know, because I certainly have drank a lot of different things in my day, a lot of different whiskeys in my day, a lot of different things I have consumed, put in my body. It's a miracle I'm alive when you think about it. When I think about it, because you don't know what I've done, you don't know what I've drank. I drank a lot, but yeah, it's pretty amazing, and every day I wake up, I'm happy to be here. I can tell you that. So, I'd like to know, TT Randall, what are you drinking? Post it up in the chat. Anybody else out there? Thank you, TT, for showing up and making me feel a little less lonely on this Wednesday night. My cohorts are not in the house. They have their own reasons for not being in the big room. But I said, I think since we started, I've hosted this solo a couple times, and I've hosted it with TK at least once. So you can tell who's the hardest working amongst us. It's BB Rumble. He's the hardest working one. Maxwell House with French vanilla coffee mates. Okay. That's a good answer. Because, we don't, again, like, this is a no judgment zone. If people want to drink water, drink water. We just want to know what you're drinking. We're not peer pressuring you, except that, we just like to see everybody stay properly hydrated. So, Maxwell House, I love French vanilla coffee mate. It is definitely a favorite for sure. French vanilla, sweet, so yummy. A little late to be drinking coffee though, isn't it, TT? Is it not? I know some people drink coffee, right up. But if I do too much of that, then you might not get a great night's sleep if you say caffeine stays in your system for 6 hours after drinking it, and you can get the restless leg syndrome. Been there, done that. Trying to lay in bed, and you just have too much energy. You feel restless, and you want to shake your legs. So that can happen. Working on some extracurricular projects. Oh, okay, cool. Right on. Everything, hopefully some good stuff you're working on over there. Definitely, I like PM shifts. PM shifts are good sometimes. My natural biorhythms have shifted to late night. I mean, I've been staying up till 4, 5 a.m. the past couple nights, and I don't mind it. There's a certain quietude. There's a certain quietude that happens very early in the morning if you happen to wake up very early in the morning, and that exists from like 4 a.m. and really comes to its peak, I think, 5, 6 a.m. But most of the times, I don't know. It seems like at least the past 2 years, at least the past year and a half since the pandemic, I have definitely been more of a night owl. Yes. Little shout out to TK right there. That's one of his phrases, I think. Unless he got that from you, TT Randall. I don't know. Yes, yes. We have I've been working on the ethnic festival schedule. So music festival, I've been working on about the past 5 days, something like that. And so that is 5 days, something like that. 3, 4, 5 days, something like that. Anyway, it's a music schedule for I'm picking bands, and so far, everybody wants to play Friday night. It's a 3-day music festival. Right at the beginning of September, it will be held in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, called the Cambria City Ethnic Festival, and it is Friday evening, starting Friday evening, early evening, and then going through Sunday, early evening. And so far, contacted 4 bands, and they all want to play on Friday. But out of the 4 bands, I had to go with Black Cat Moan for a number of reasons. Yes, because TK is my blood brother. But beyond that, I don't think that they have played a hosted a nighttime gig. Yeah, there is certainly nepotism. There's certainly a certain amount of nepotism there, but I honestly did try to step back and say, who puts on a great show, and Brother TK does put on a great show, and he was up against a couple of bands competing for this Friday night slot that have horns in them. And usually when a band has horns, it's just a real specialty for me. It's a soft spot for me. And I found over the years that it tends to be a real crowd pleaser when you have large throngs of people and you put horns in the band, regardless of the style of music. It just makes it extra special because you just don't get to hear a horn section very much in today's day and age. Even through most of my lifetime. I mean, it's, horn bands have always been kind of a rarity to see it outside of the arena of the genre of jazz. And so, to have horns in a funk section or in a blues section or in a rock and roll, it works in all those as the horn styles change. But so, hopefully we'll be able to get some horns happening on Saturday night, which will be September 4th. But we just got confirmed for Black Cat Moan, Friday, September 3rd, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, free festival. Come on up, enjoy that show. Put it in your calendar. It'll be worth the drive. It's definitely, it's always a good time up there. And I know you're a big fan of the BCM, as you were once their promoter. So, yeah, those guys. I said, I just listened to their most recent single, and it sounds awesome. Jameson, their bass player, is mixing. That is doing the recording and mixing of them now, and he's doing an outstanding job for somebody who hasn't worked in the recording arts for a tremendously long period of time, has been a musician for a long time. But a musician does not a recording engineer make. I can promise you this. I know more musicians than I can count, and I can count on one hand how many of them know the mixing arts. And certainly when it comes to studio mixing and mixing for an album, it's actually rare, surprisingly rare for anybody outside of the music industry. You would be surprised how many of your favorite musicians, I think they would figure it out on the quickness how to mix, but just most of them just never took the time to learn how to mix or how to operate a mixing board. It's pretty amazing. So it was a surprise to me. Let's put it this way: when I got involved in the industry, well over 10 years ago at this point, and I started hosting shows, and I learned it, and then I was like, how come nobody else knows how to do this? I thought I was late to the party in here. I'm still one of the few that is comfortable doing it, mixing live sound and studio. But they're Black Hat Moons. They're doing great recordings, and they need to get on the radio. They really need to get on the radio. And after listening to this latest recording, I thought to myself, man, do I need to hop back in the game to like shake the trees and and see what it takes to get these boys on the radio, because they have the material that is radio quality, and that is a prerequisite. I mean, you can have a great sounding band, but you need to have a great sounding recording and something that is fits the station, because there's different radio stations that play different genres. But BCM's sound is that it's really kind of come more into the rock and roll flavor from the blues. So it's very, it's more rock and roll than it is blues. And I think that they could get play on WDB in Pittsburgh. Speaking of nepotism, if you know anybody that can make that happen, post it up. Let's get it happen. Because that was a game changer for the band, the Clarks. I remember, seeing them play at the Roxbury Band Show, 30 years ago. It was a long time ago. And it might not have been, maybe like 25 years ago. But they, and then they got signed, and it was like, they were able to tour a little bit and open up for some larger acts and make some bigger coin. But the main thing is they were able to sell a lot of their CDs, and a lot of people would buy their records, and they built up a great following. So that what happened was, when they would play the local festivals, people would show up in droves because they were familiar with their songs from listening to them on the radio, usually at work, you know what I mean? And just by listening to it on the radio, you're like, cigarette, and then they made that a very fun kind of audience participation, kind of like people love to sing along to that song. And with those two combinations of people just getting familiar with it, people love what they're familiar with. So really, if you can meet them where they spend their day, which is at their workplace, the radio is still, I think, the most predominant place to meet them. It's great that we can publish online as as you can get on Spotify, you can get on all these different stations. But I think in the workplace, I think radio is still definitely predominantly played there even today. And I don't know how many more years that's going to be the case, but I think it still is the case right now, and that would be great if they could get on the radio so that people could get familiar with them, and then it would help out the local scene, and then people they get excited because they're like, oh, I love this, I have the night off or whatever, and they're playing somewhere in Pittsburgh or somewhere close, somewhere within driving distance, or if they want to make it a special occasion, they can drive a little bit to a neighboring town and see the band. Especially, and then once a band starts touring and they play their hometowns less and less. I just watched yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes. I watched a special with Tom Petty, and it was from like 2011, and it was in his hometown down in Florida, in a place that is the size of the War Memorial in Johnstown. So it's a very small arena, and it was it was like one of his, I don't know if one of his last shows, but it was very well recorded and documented, and it was awesome. It's called Tom Petty Live at cannot remember the name of the town, but it was whatever his hometown is in Florida, and it's on I don't know. You might be able to find it on Netflix or something like that. But man, if you like, it's amazing. And I love Tom Petty. I think most people do. And that concert was just, everybody was top notch in it. The musicianship was top notch. And Stevie Nicks makes a surprise appearance, which isn't a surprise. That's since I didn't get the spoiler alert. But I need a spoiler alert because it's another reason to go out and watch that video. And look it up. Tom Petty live. It's just awesome. You'll find it if you search Tom Petty live. And but he said in that concert, it was like he's like, man, I haven't played here in it was like 11 years since he had played there. So that's what happens when you go on the road. You're playing. You're trying to spread the love, and and it's always new to a new audience. So when you have that radio play, it makes it so that everybody, when you go to a new town, it's a rare opportunity for them to see your band. And so that's how you fill up shows. You got to kind of keep touring. You got to keep moving if you're the band. I don't know. Black Eyed Moon's going to be open up for Ann Popovic, or Popovic. I'm not sure how she pronounces her last name. I think she pronounces it Popovic, but it's almost like Popovich, which we need some Popoviches in our town, but I think it's Ann Popovic, and she's a really good blues musician. Her band's really, really tight. Really, they do a good show, and they're coming to where are they playing? I want to say Greensburg or Johnstown. I'm not sure, but Black Eyed Moon's opening up for them in August, beginning of August. That'll be. So I think that's when it is. Or they're also playing Millville. There's a festival in Millville, part of Pittsburgh, on August 6th, I think. The Black Eyed Moon will be playing in, and that lineup is crazy. Let me see if I can pull up the set list. I couldn't. I mean, the band listing for this is like insane. It's really insane, and this is from somebody. This is coming from somebody. It's insane to me. Extra insane because as somebody who puts on shows and has put on shows for over a decade, I know what it takes to get a band on and off stage, and the turnaround times for these bands. There's no way to do it unless you have what's called a backline, meaning the drum kit stays there. It's not getting broken down and set up every time. It stays there, and usually the bass cabinet also stays there, and that's the backline. And then it makes it easier for the musicians to kind of come up, plug in, and play, and then they're just leaving with their instruments. But you want to use ideally all of your amps. Guitar players are usually, they can be more picky about their cabinets. Sometimes that's not an option with guitar players, but in any case, they have like 15-minute crossovers, and they're running. It's like a 3-day festival, and they're running well over 30, if not 40 bands. Let me see if I could find this Millville Festival. It's pretty damn impressive. And I think I have the day off of Beaumont because it's at the beginning. It's like right at the beginning of August. So I should be able to make this festival. And it's really right up the street from me. It's not far. I could be there in 20 minutes, basically. So I do hope to make that festival. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to get to it. Let's see. Millville Music Festival 2021. Here we go. Screen with you. 1, 2, 3. There it be. All right. So here's the Millville Music Festival. and it is located right there in Pittsburgh. Everybody from Pittsburgh knows where Millville is. No problem there. And let's see. So go to over 250 musical acts on 26 stages. Friday, August 6th, and Saturday, August 7th. And it's free for everyone. Spoken word, comedy, and more. So here's the schedule. I'm just gonna scroll this. This is Friday. All that. There's Saturday. All that. Still going. Still going. Still going. How's it possible? Oh, because I missed Sunday somehow. Wait, is that it? Yeah. Okay, so it's my bad. Friday and Saturday. So Friday's a little shorter. The music starts at about 6, right? Mr. Fancy Pants at bar 3. So they got bar 3, Cousins, Double L, the Gap Park, Good Time, place called Good Time, Howard's Pub, and Mr. Small Cedar, Smokies, and the Whisper Nest. These are all the venues that are within walking distance of in Millville, which is pretty cool. And then Saturday they got bar 3. They got bands at the Barking Shark, at the Community Center, at Cousins, at the Double L, Element Church, Gap Park, Gardens main stage, Gardens solo duo stage, Good Time, Grist House, Howard's Pub, Library, which used to be down in there used to be there. I mean, I think there's still a library. This must be Library 2, but I don't know. There's a library down on East Carson. Been there for a long time. So this must be a second for either first or second location, I guess. Lumberjaxes. That's funny. And then Mr. Smalls has it going, starting at 2, going all the way. So this must be. This is all comedy. So okay, spoken word from 2 to basically 4, right? Then you take a small break. 5 o'clock starts with comedy. Goes up until 7. That's awesome. And then the music starts at 8. So there's a short break for the band set, to get them started. Some bands I've never heard of, so that's pretty cool. And this is Mr. Small's Fun House. And then there's Mr. Small's Theater, which has these bands playing, starting at 4. And then there's Mr. Small's Cafe. Adam Fitz. Shout out to Adam Fitz. We know you. So he's on early, and then so there's stuff going on there. Then they got stuff at the Pit, Sedgwick Street main stage, another outdoor stage, Sedgwick solo duo stage, Smokies Sprezzatura, whatever that is. Strange Roots. I was wondering what was up with Strange Roots. So they'll be running a lot of cool bands there. They make really interesting beers using different Strange Roots in their beers. So a lot of other bands like I've not heard. Maybe I'll pull. Let's pull some of these up since we're hanging out. I'm by myself, hanging out with TT Randall right now, and whoever else is eavesdropping. Please say hi, pop on, say hi in the chat, say hi in the community chat, comments section over there. VFW has stuff going on, and then the Whispers Nest. So that is just kahila. All right, so that is just an amazing lineup, man. And look at these, like even with the bands. Each band's playing like here you got Rebel Revolver from 2:20 to 3 o'clock. I mean, that dude's on and off the stage. That can't be a full band. I don't see how that could be a full band. By the time you got everything set up and you're going, you got to go. You got a half an hour set with a 10-minute turnaround. 4:20 to 5 o'clock, 3:20 to 4, 2:20 to 3 o'clock, 3:20 to 4 o'clock, 4:20 to 5 o'clock, 5:20 to 6 o'clock. It's interesting they start on the 20s. Very, very interesting. Tomorrow in Cheswick, Jimmy Adler Blues Band and John Gresh's the Grizz. I remember Grizz. Moondogs, Popular Shine Center in Pittsburgh. Shira Shine present the return of the wild popular Miller Lite. Shout out to Miller Lite. Thursday Summer Music Series. Okay. Let's check it out. Support live music performances by musicians, local musicians, from June 3rd all the way through October 14th. In the Pittsburgh Shrine Center Pavilion, Rainer Shrine, unintended right there. Yeah, Shriners Way in Cheswick. No tailgating, no outside food or beverages permitted. So go there and eat and drink. That's what they're saying. They're going to be selling food. There's a full bar. No purchase is required for alcohol service. Food is provided by Pittsburgh favorite Starlight Lounge, which is right next to Moondogs. And you can also cool off with cool sweet treats from Kona Ice. But so a lot of different Pittsburgh rock and blues bands here. Very cool, very cool. Okay. And here is the Grizz. Let's check it out. John Gresh, Grizz. So that's John Gresh. Must be. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got. Grizz and Zayda Go Go. Zayda a Go Go. Okay, so he gets down with some Zayda Go. This is happening when? July 10th. That just happened. Just happened 4 days ago. In Stilton. Hope you guys had fun. Let's see if there's any video. Oh man, he's got his Mardi Gras gear. Look at that hat. Man, he looks dope. He looks pretty awesome. Dr. John. He looks very, very Dr. John. Oh man. That's cool. We booked today's show at Mastic Trail Brewery, second anniversary of the Good Doctor's Transmigration. Expect a lot of Max music today. Very, very cool, man. Very cool. I'd like to, man, I got to get in touch with this guy possibly. Your new home, Fire Bar and Grill in Dormont. We'll be there the second Friday every month. Jimmy Adler, Bob Peckman, Mike Sweeney, and myself lay down some New Orleans infused social music to make you feel good. Man, that is wild because I was just talking about I was just talking about Saturday Night Ethnic Festival and the tradition of early Ethnic Festival was and has been Zydeco music. So to find this and that he plays with Jimmy Adler, I think I might bring these guys up to Johnstown. They've never been. I want to try and make this happen. I'm going to reach out to these guys. This is happening right now. Look at that. I got a phone number to reach out and hear everything. Now, I don't even need to listen to him. You know why? Because if he's playing with Jimmy Adler, that's how it works. You want to talk about nepotism? Wait. I got a new comment. Gree is the pronunciation like voodoo, New Orleans style. Gree, voodoo. Okay. I don't know. I've never been to New Orleans. I understand that's how they say New Orleans down there. New Orleans. He plays in Carnegie all the time at Riley's Poorhouse. I've never been to Riley's Poorhouse. Looks like a really cool place though. And man, that's right up the street from me too. Just a couple miles up the road. Be there. A few miles. Great venue. Okay. I need to check it out for sure. Definitely want to. It looks like a really cool. I looked in there one time, and the band was just finishing up, and I went in, and I asked the bartender. I was like, "Can I get a beer? Like, are you guys? Is there a second set? Like, what's happening?" Because I saw it tear down. It was early, and they were like, "No, we're done for the night." And I was like, "Oh crap, okay." That was the closest I got to seeing something there. Um, but anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna check these guys out. Let's see if we can find any. See if we can find any. He's got to dress like that. I love that. That is awesome. That is getting a superstar like to the love right there. And also, he gets page like. Okay. Okay. Who are these cats? Rhythm section. Yeah. I need to see these dudes. I mean, if you got a Facebook page and they allow audio and video, post up some video. Look at this. You do Mardi Gras celebrations all over the damn place. All over the drain. Okay. This is happening. This is happening. I did not know. I gotta check this date for real. This is happening live in concert, live in person, right here, right now. All right, let's see here. Where is the music of these guys? Right, here's what we're gonna do. Go through this. Copy. New one. Paste. See what we get right here. And here we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's check it out. We got some music coming. Stand by. I was in the right place. Must have been the wrong time. Yes. This is hap happening. They're down at NOLA on the square. Oh yeah, New Orleans. NOLA, New Orleans. That's good times. It's a breakdown. Let's see what else we got. Same video. It's definitely like not good video quality or audio quality. But the attempt was made to document it, and that's always appreciated, you know. Plus, this goes way back to 2011, so this video is 10 years old. Almost. It was November. Coming up on it. All right, so we got that. Let's see. Let's check out Thunderbird. Thunderbird is a place I need to get to. We're going to check out the Thunderbirds. Batman D.
So we're going to do that duet, that one Mac and Ricky D. Jones and Emmy for their edition of Making Whoopee.
Let's see what is going on.
Emmy, Grammy, they won an Emmy, they won a Grammy, they won the Pulitzer in the Nobel Peace Prize for their song. And people of Gumbo and Duke Chase.
Wait. What is this? What is this? What is this? Ichabod summons.
Kika.
Hey, Ramata.
How are ya? How are ya, sir?
Good to see you, monk brother. Good, thanks for popping up.
Absolutely. Here to the Adhawk action hour.
I'm so lonely.
I'm so lonely.
TT Randall's been keeping me company.
That's nice. Hey, TT. She just gave a shout out today.
She quoted you too, right there.
Yes. Nice. Nice. Did I see that you had Fat Man D up on the screen?
Yeah, man. Mandy. So there was I was talking producer stuff.
Oh,
with
good.
TT Randall in the sense of, you know, putting on events and ethnic festival. And I mentioned, you know, the conversation you've been involved with all day with me, which is hilarious that out of 4 bands, everybody, you know, nobody could do Saturday and people could only do Friday, which is just, it's humorous. There's other bands. It's not going to work out. But, you know, the thing is like, we reached out and it's like, it's always an honor to be asked, even if it doesn't work out. Right.
Truth.
So, so there's that. And I'm trying to figure out Saturday. And so one thing, so this has already been really productive and I'm really glad that I happened upon this because I came upon this band called Grizz, which I heard before. And I didn't know that John Gresh's Grizz is heavily Zydeco influenced New Orleans.
Oh man, that's always
music.
A crowd pleaser. Wow, you kidding me? That's always a crowd pleaser.
With horns, Pittsburgh based, and to boot, Jimmy Adler plays with them. Who's played so Jimmy's been a friend of Oma's.
I think he did the last Ethnic Festival, didn't he? He did one of the last.
Bro, I'm thinking trying to get him, and then maybe even you know, putting together. I was thinking about putting a little makeshift thing together. You know, we could say, hey, Freddie, come in on this band and sing backup, have fun, get involved with this. Let's do a New Orleans thing with this dude on keys, Grizz. The beats New Orleans style, and then here you can see he's got some horn cats back here. Batman D plays with them.
Wow!
But Yeah, I'm gonna see what I could put together. I know
That
what the
sounds
budget
fun.
is.
There you go. That's what I was doing. This. I was
These are
like,
his horn sections. Yeah, so I'm gonna
oh,
start
he's
with this
really
horn.
good. So down there, scroll back down. There. Okay, that was. Oh, of course. That's how I met all those cats. That was at the West Sylvania Jazz and Blues Festival.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Good sound. Real good sound. Many of those cats played with Alico. The handsome
band featuring John Berger on keys, Eric Spalding on sax, with the rhythm section of Mike Sweeney and Joey Picard. We started 4:45. Yeah. So, but yeah, man. To bring New Orleans back to Cambria City Ethnic Fest.
Absolutely.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, this is happening right now. I'm like, I'm gonna send a message to this dude right now. And I said, I was like, let me hear what he sounds like. But I was like, I don't need if
he's out there playing a lot,
he's playing with those cats,
tag teaming with those cats.
Yeah,
he must got something. He's not flubbing up the stage.
No, Jimmy Adler's in his core band.
Yeah.
So this is cool, man. This is cool.
Grizz.
I'm gonna send out a little thing, but yeah, let me bring this back on stream here. Have you ever seen these guys or heard them play too?
Seeing that name written down is familiar to me. But I've never seen them play. Mandy, I've known since '99. We actually were in some productions together back then, because I used to be a co-producer of Dark Night Cabaret for the City Theater.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's going.
Yeah, with Christiana Alicia. Yeah, it's '99, 2000, and a little bit in 2001.
Wow, man, Christiana Alicia, I remember her. That was didn't she go on to do Brillo Box or something like that?
No, she was is actually just as of like last week signed off. She was on from the Pittsburgh Arts Council. She's been on the Pittsburgh Arts Council for a long time, and she sang with the band Soma Mestizo with Herman Soy Sauce Pearl, who mixed our album Symbols back in '99.
Really?
Yep, he was actually one of the first people to record Mac Miller. Before he was Mac Miller, like when he was going under another name.
Oh man, I gotta meet this dude.
Hey, he's a good guy. His wife is Stacy Pearl, who I think she choreographed this piece called Exit of Eden, and I was dancing then, and Mandy played Satan a la Buddha, and I was Adam, and who was the dancer? Lisa Clark was Eve. Wow. And she came out, she had this, I don't know what it was, some kind of orb, and she was pouring, it was like in the shape of an apple, and as we were kind of copulating dancing, she was pouring this kind of red fluid on us, and we started going to these whirling dervishes. Yeah, and I never forget that. It was awesome.
Man. I remember her. I remember you doing that stuff too, man, in Pittsburgh. I remember showing up to one of them. It was a really cool scene, actually.
Yeah, those were some hip days, man.
Oh man, they were real. They were deep. They were taking it deep.
Yeah.
What was the soy sauce guy's name?
Herman Soy Sauce Pearl of Tough Sound Productions. They just moved their studio as well. But his wife is Stacy Pearl, and she has, award-winning dance company. There he is. But he's a deep cat too. That's him on the right. That's Mandy. Oh, it's her husband Tommy Amoeba.
And Liz Berlin.
Liz Berlin, wow, Liz Berlin. She was one of the producers of Dark Night Cabaret. I think she was actually stepping down, and that's where they asked me to step in as producer for her. Now that I think, I don't know, it's so hazy. God, that's so bloody long ago. It's over 22 years ago.
Wow, man. Yeah, I'm impressed that you were able to pull as many names from your memory as you were able to.
Well, a lot of those cats stuck around and never left the scene. You know what I mean? Like they just got deeper and deeper into the scene. There, click on that one at the top. There's some videos from him mixing. Go up.
Reggie Watkins putting this
Yeah,
out
he
with
records with him. Mm-hmm.
Billy Pilgrim. This guy was supposed to do. He was supposed to perform at Ethnic Festival last year and did not make it. You know, shit. That's
Scroll
funny.
back up. Click on one of those two. That right there. It's a video. That was Herman back there. His place was awesome. Anyway, yeah, too loud. Yeah, too loud, but nevertheless, that little video from the recording sessions. That was a mixing session, obviously. So we recorded it in Altoona, and then he mixed it. And sharing the screen, there's an echo in my voice.
There is?
Yep.
There shouldn't be. There's not supposed to be because I put the headphones on. You're not coming out any speed.
Yep. It's off.
Wackadosh.
It's when you share screens. Oh, there it is.
Back on. Son of a BB.
Son of the BB. Anyway, yeah, awesome people. So that sounds really hip, you know, to put a happening together, you know, for a Saturday. That's it. You know, hey, even if it does, if everybody isn't available, it's a Friday. Great sandwich. Even if everybody isn't available, it's something to keep in mind, you know, to have an event. One thing Bones said, he is apologetic. He did try. He reached back out to me, a bunch of different things he was trying to get a switch, and he just couldn't do it. There were too many people involved. Okay. But one thing he did say was, well, it looks like we'll be the only gig in town that night. Because all these other bands want to play Friday, you know, because they're available. They're not playing. He's like, looks like we'll be the only band playing in town that night.
We shall see. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be great. I think, have you guys ever done a closing spot on the Ethnic Festival?
No. In years past, Aces used to always hire us, and they paid really well, and it was like
I just can remember if we had you.
It was inside. We and it always killed me, although it felt good. You had us like on Sundays because we would play Saturday at like 5 inside Aces.
Yeah, so would that be like on a Friday or Saturday or on an off day or like in an afternoon or something?
It was a Sunday. We would always do Sunday afternoon.
Sundays? Okay.
Yeah. And that was cool, but hit or miss is all the hangover parties. But like it always kind of killed us. Like although it was air conditioned inside and felt great, the action was outside, but it was like
No, but you guys always had good turnouts in there though. Really good turnouts. I mean I went in there and I was always surprised to see how many people were indoors instead of outdoors, with everything going on outdoors. Right. But it was a great.
It depends what the temperature was. If the temperature was high, they were coming in.
Air conditioned Oasis, yeah.
Yeah, but they were always. It was always a good show. That was actually one of the. Yeah.
Oh, Is this right? Tomorrow, Jimmy Adler Blues Band and John Chris tomorrow.
No way. Where?
Dude, in Cheswick.
Oh, at the
I'm coming out.
Okay, there it is. That's the meet and greet.
This is it.
Wow, that's the universe.
This just happened, bro.
That's magic.
It's all happening right in front of you. This happened live.
That's magic.
You saw the whole You saw the whole thing happen right there. This is an old message from TT. I'm just posting it up right now. TT, we have to manually post these. There should be a toggle switch in which I could just say, hey,
It just
anybody,
comments they do.
Just post it up, like post them, amen to the magic.
Amen to the magic.
Yeah, thank you for showing up, TT. And because the way that everything flowed is that I was going to talk about my day, and then whenever you showed up, the conversation naturally sparked Black Cat and Moan because of your association with them and T not being here, and then talking about, oh yeah, I'm putting on this show, for Ethnic Festival, and oh, this is what happened today. Isn't it funny where I was trying to book 4 different bands for Saturday, and every one of them was like, can't do it, but I can do Friday, and I'm like, wow. None of you can do Saturday at all. Nope, just Friday. And that was hilarious.
TT, you haven't been here in a while. And the fact that like nobody else was able to show up tonight until now, and Adhawk was here alone. And you, TT, from Tuesday Blues Day, who, was educated, in the music and sound production and organizing and producing or show producing and entertainment. Of all people to show up to help Adhawk.
Yeah, it kind of sparked that kernel. And again, it's perfect. It's one of those, where does art reflect life or does life reflect art? Do you affect the universe? Does the universe affect you? Perception. Obviously, they're constantly intertwined and intertwining like a DNA helix, elliptical spiral. We go round and round. But the kernel of her showing up, love the monks. Thank you, T. We love you too, and each other, and the universe. And especially, I love serendipitous shit where it's just like that just happened, and it's living in. It is the artist way. It's the way of the artist is living in the moment. Being open to opportunity and keeping your mind open so that you can connect the dots as they flow in you. And you can be like water and you can flow with the universe if you're open to seeing the signs and the signposts that, that the universe, because when you're under stress and you're stressed, you're not doing yourself a service because it puts the blinders on you and the universe might be trying to show you, hey, signpost, go this way, go this way, go this way. And you're
spinning inside in the past or a potential future, which will never really exist. A fear-based future.
Yeah, you'd be out of fear or something that's keeping
you're not seeing the signpost. You're not seeing the now.
Boxed in and tunnel visioned to where you're not seeing the opportunities and those doors of opportunities that are constantly flashing as we're going down the stream now, not constantly. Because
now this opportunity, hold on. So they're playing in Cheswick tomorrow. Yeah, man. That's pretty ridiculous. Now, is that at the Shriners or is that at the Harmer House?
I forgot I wasn't sharing my screen. Yeah, right here. Shriners.
Okay. So that's the old. I guess it's the new Syria Mosque, but
you got to come with me, man. You're gonna be able to come.
I might be able to.
Pop over, man. It's 3 hours. I mean,
yeah, I'll be able to pop. I don't want to be there for a hot minute.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to be there for the whole thing. But let's see what's going on here. Is this?
Oh, it's an all-day thing. Oh no, there's a different event. I see now.
Yeah. So it's part of this Moondogs, the Pittsburgh Shriner Center, and the Syria Shriners present the return of Miller Lite Thunder Thursdays Summer Music Concert Series. So every Thursday, all summer long.
Never a cover. Wow.
Never a cover. Just don't bring food. And you have to, there's no tailgating or food permitted. And you're expected, a full bar is available. Meal purchase is required for alcohol service. So food purchase provided through Starlight Lounge, which is cool. Oh, yeah. It's right next to Moondogs. And you can cool off with some sweet treats from Kona Ice. So
they really worked that out in order to keep funding to saving that space, during this time. So, well done.
Man, I'm trying to say, it's been so some places didn't make it, through 2020, through the epidemic. So been so hard. Like the ones that you had to get sponsorship, or you had to get that government bailout money, or you weren't surviving. Like the Rex Theater. I mean, those guys went under, and
That's crazy.
it's amazing because they seem to have been killing it on the weekends. So much, but
yeah, they had major acts coming through there constantly.
You never know what people's expenses are and all this other stuff.
Correct. So Adhawk, I would recommend getting there when they're setting up. You know what I mean? To say, hey, I mean, I don't know. No.
Yeah, I mean,
you already sent the message?
No, I haven't, but I haven't sent any message.
Well, cool.
But I was gonna send one, and then I saw that, and I was just like, man, I'll just go that. But I am gonna send a message.
Doing both. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna definitely do both. Yeah, I'll send a message.
Because I mean, like think about, what it's like when you're performing and somebody comes up to you and they're, excited and they want to wheel and deal, and it's kind of like, I hear you, but I can't hear you right now, because I'm, mentally performing.
Oh, 100%, man.
At least that's how I am. I mean, they're a little old school,
oh, yeah,
so they might be a little more like,
100%.
a little calmer than the monk when in those situations.
Oh no, it's stressful.
And Jimmy knows you well, so I mean, well enough, right?
Yeah, man. He knows me well enough, and I just pulled him up, so I'm gonna actually message him right now as we're chatting, just a little query to say, hey man, considering this band for this date, and doing that.
Yes.
So how about you chat? How about let me jump off, and I'll be back in just a minute. I'll send this message, and you can talk to yourself, or TT. She is in the pop-ups.
Sure.
We'll put your big screen. Other way.
Haha. Big screen.
So what's going on, T? What's going on with the day? What's going on?
What is going on with the monk? Well, the monk has been very good. The monk is back at work. They every time I try to get out, they keep pulling me back. So which is nice though, because they kept reaching out to me to work on different film projects, and it just wasn't possible, really. And nor was I very interested in working on those projects. But nevertheless, they reached out to me again and again. And the last time they were like, it was Chris St. Pierre, who's one of my favorite people to work for in the films. And he was, whatever days, whatever hours you can give, we'll take you, monk. Just let us know. And so I said, well, I couldn't do more than 2 days. And he said, that's great. We'll take you. 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever you want. So I've been doing Mondays and Tuesdays. So that's actually been good, I think, mentally, in a way, to remember what that's like to work. They've been 11-hour days in strenuous situations, you know what I mean? Like hot warehouses, respirator, spraying chemicals, and but a bunch of new people. The first week was working in a prison someplace, and no ventilation because it's a prison, just, oh man. But it's been good just to remember that. And working with a bunch of people that I haven't met before on this crew. The project is American Rust was the name of the book. It's not called just Rust, I think. It's for Showtime. Jeff Daniels, a bunch of names. But anyway, so that's been Monday, Tuesdays. Wednesday is kind of like a hangover day, like a work hangover day, it seems like where I try and kind of like snap back into this world, painting world, and and with the kids as well, and try and get stuff done. And then it's time to be in the big room. So it's interesting. And then Thursdays, I try not to have it really be a hangover day, and get into the studio is in the morning, first thing when I wake up. Have a lot of paintings going. I'm currently in a show in Zelienople at Curio Cool. Oh, my phone's upstairs. I can't show you. My phone is crapped out on me. If I don't keep it plugged in, it dies. Black Cat Moan will be releasing a new single soon, by the way.
Yeah, man, I talked about that earlier. It was sounds awesome. And I was just saying, like, I was telling TT, I was like, man, this guy's got to get on the radio, because that was a turning point for the Clarks. I remember seeing the Clarks 25 years ago play at Roxbury Bandshell.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, it was just
my art show was up at that point.
There's so many people, but you know, it comes down just to familiarity. Right. People, you can meet the people where they're at, and radio still has the ability to do that. You know, even with Spotify, even with Amazon Music and all this stuff, in the workplace where they allow radio.
Yeah, I think DVD would get it now, and
I think DVD will definitely get you guys. And this latest track is
it's Stonesy,
more to that rock and roll kind of sound.
Yeah.
To where I think you can get this on DVD as a single, and you only need one. You only need one, and when at that point you're printing CDs so that they can take it home, put it in their computer, burn it. Ideally, you don't even do CDs anymore. It's probably best to do USB.
It's download.
Yeah,
cards.
Just give a little card, a little card that they could put, or everybody has a USB port, USB drive with the album on it.
Now they make just cards, and it's a scan code. And it's a free download.
Oh, you just download it from whatever
barcode, whatever, and it downloads it. It's a free download from iTunes or.
That makes sense. Yeah, you just sell them get them the card.
It's so much less expensive.
Well,
I miss CDs. So that's what I was starting to say.
You are working
one of the paintings,
though, right?
Absolutely. So today we were working on cover art, and one of the paintings that's in the show is a painting that I did for my show at Box Heart. I did a Bowie and the Higher Self, and I did Madonna and the Higher Self. And the Madonna piece, there's a line in the song "You're Gone" that repeats. It's a good hook that says, you're a groundbreaking mama, like 80s Madonna. You're so gone, you're right on. And so we're using a portion of that painting that's in the show in Zealand Opal right now. And we're going through different things today. And I think what we're working on is making a section of that painting looking like it was graffiti art, like in an alley, like a wall texture. And then we were discussing whether or not, having Madonna's image on our singles cover, promoting it would be jive or not, or we could get in trouble for it. So I came, with the idea of doing the censor bar across the eyes, old school, the censor bar, like a tabloid magazine, and on it says "You're Gone." And we were talking about how to put the Black Cat Moan symbol. So what we're coming up with now is that the image is going to look like it's graffiti on a wall, and then a spray stencil across her eyes that says "You're Gone," like stencil art. And then a slap sticker, our stickers, our BCM sticker.
Wait.
It'll look like it's slapped on it and kind of worn down on the wall. Yeah.
Wait, why are you doing, I don't get it. Like, why are you putting it over her eyes and you're saying "You're gone"? It's like saying she's dead. It's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. But
creepy. Not weird in a good way to me. I saw it and I was like, why are you doing that? I mean, it's Madonna's not gone, but I mean, the 90s are gone.
It's actually once you hear it, so it does have an ominous thing, just the way the same way, just the same way. Yeah, exactly. Just the same way. Want to get high,
but
want to get high. Well, no,
if you do why not get her in an awesome dance pose and then I'm
using the painting. So that's my point. We're using monk art again. We're using the painting. I did a painting of Madonna. We're using that, and we're manipulating it in a way to make it look like street art.
Well, Adhawk's 2 cents is use the painting. Painting's awesome. I would just.
We don't know if we would get in trouble with the image.
Just
someone's realistic-ish image.
No, you won't.
That's what I said. I didn't think we would.
You cannot. You can't. Like, literally, you cannot get in trouble for that. Like, nobody
for using a drawing or a realistic painting of a living icon.
No. I'll have to double check, but I think, I mean, that's unless there are some limitations whenever you're monetizing it, and maybe the exclusions only apply to parodies and news, which is possible. So there is that possibility.
There is a possibility,
But, dude,
especially because it's a music piece. That's like having a picture, a painting of Prince on your album cover, and and calling your band Camille, but spelled differently. People are going to be like, holy shit, Prince just dropped an album under the name Camille.
Right.
Totally
I got you.
So
yeah, I mean, I think the painting though, with just a font that says "You're Gone" across it would do it. And dude, who's gonna hunt you down for that? I mean, let's get real. You guys aren't $1 million selling band. And if you were, somebody would tell you. You know what I mean? Like how to do that. There's always a workaround. There's always a loophole.
It's always a reach around.
But I feel like that black across her eyes, to me, it was just like, it was like putting X's over her eyes. And that was my first impression, was like, why are you killing Madonna? And I know the line, but it's totally not, you're not even interpreting your own line correctly, because "You're Gone" is like, you're gone, baby. Like you're like that you're a hipster, not you're gone as in bye-bye. Right. But man, that baby far out. That's what it is. Far out. Right. Yeah. And then it translated into gone. So
yeah, maybe there's that is something I didn't really think about. I mean, I didn't really see either one as bad, but maybe there is something to be said about,
Yeah, like you're blindfolded.
If it strikes you,
it's when you execute somebody, you blindfold them, and then there's like, I mean,
so I went to XXX like celebrity censor bar, that's where my mind went. XXX photos, a celebrity coming out of the club and they just block their eyes, so you know exactly who the heck it is, but they block the eyes so they can get away with it.
Oh, I see. If you would do that, then I would just suggest taking where when you put the "You're Gone" in the black bar. I don't know, man.
Maybe we should put two of the Black Cat Moan symbols for the eyes, like the button, creepy, I know that's the really Bowie button eye, preacher.
I think just lose the bar until somebody says something to you about it. They can't make you recall the shit. Bad publicity is good publicity. I mean, fuck, if you get a cease and, the only thing they would ever do is you just get a cease and desist. But there's no way there's anybody going to find out about that. Now, okay, so I shouldn't say no way. You are releasing stuff on Spotify. You are putting on Amazon. You're putting on some different things, and that'd be the cover art. So if you do the bar, just put the "You're Gone" somewhere else. Put the "You're Gone" down in the corner. Try the bar. You know what you need to do. This is a great example of when movies and different things have test audiences, where you put it out on, a Facebook group and say, like, what is this? What's your impression of this? Do you like it? Dislike it? Like, question 1, like it or dislike it? Question 2, does it make you think of, like, how do you interpret the word "gone"? That would probably be the 2 questions. That would be it. Like, do you like it or don't like it? And how do you interpret?
Well, it's definitely, I could see it going the other way at
as
that
in
point.
Dead and deceased, or is in super hip, and just have those 2 choices, right? Like A or B. It's like a yes or no. And I think what you would see is predominantly everybody would think "You're Gone" meaning as in bye-bye, you're dead, because "You're Gone" as in you're hip is not in our vernacular anymore. It's not part of the American vernacular anymore. So even the people that grew up in the 60s, that's where you would see the different demographics. If you showed it to people that grew up in the 60s, and they might pick B, but everybody born 1965 or later, born 1965 or later, would probably interpret it because they would grow up in the 70s. They would probably.
So here's a bigger question then: is the song title incorrect?
No, it's not, because I mean, you're redefining what that means in the song.
So I mean, but should it be "You're Gone" right on? But that still sounds like what you're saying is it could sound like
Right.
you've left. She's gone. No, why?
I mean, so okay, fair question, good question.
Okay. I mean, I'm just putting this out there. This is
I
all.
would think that again, when people would read you buy the CD or whatever, you see it, you're gonna expect a sad song. You're gone. It's gonna be about missing somebody. And then that's the normal train of thought that anybody born past the year 1965, that's where their mind's initially going to go. But once they start to listen to the song, you redefine that, and then I think you're going to bring depending on the popularity of your song, you have a chance to redefine the vernacular of this phrase.
It's kind of my hope.
So it's a challenge.
In fact, it is a challenge. So when one of the first times the song was, somebody requested it and like reposted about it, they referred to the song as "Groundbreaking Mama."
Nice.
And maybe that's it. You know, we don't call it.
That's a way better title, in my opinion. Way better. When you hear that, you think party, you think women empowerment, and that's it. You think of a powerful woman that's groundbreaking, breaking the glass ceiling, and it's a woman, it's a mama. So, you know, it's like that's your initial frame of mind. You're priming the pump for that first needle drop. They don't need to listen to the first verse and go, wait, this isn't about death or loneliness or missing somebody. They're already expecting going into it.
This is interesting.
Something fun.
Yeah. And yeah, it makes more sense. As we're doing this test group right now, I'm hearing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm hearing it. You know, for so long, it just always
T.T. Randall, what's your thoughts? You're out there. What are your thoughts on that? If you're still,
she might have had a split.
She's working on a project. She might have had to jump out. Yeah.
Right on.
But yeah, man, that's like my advice is that since you're not trying to change the status quo of since you're not trying to, you know, the point of the song is not to make them question. Right.
It's to bring them on.
That is not what the question was. That is not at all helpful.
It's not at all helpful. It just happens to be the one that's fully produced right now. We have about four or five cans.
It's not that she doesn't like it. That's not what she means.
Yeah, I know. We have like 4 songs in the can.
Okay, so she doesn't get it. Okay, that's so right there. I mean, okay, that is helpful, TT. That is helpful. The point is, again, unless you were born in the 50s, grown up in the 60s, where what was that show, the Mod with, you know, you're far out. They would all, what is it called?
Rhoda.
60s show. Oh man, it's like
What's Happening?
No.
Dynamite. That's still 70s.
What was that? They had all the different colored squares and
that laughing
stuff on their body.
Laughing. Rowan and Martin's laughing.
Martin's laughing. Rowan and Martin's laughing.
Yeah.
And
from beautiful downtown Burbank.
Yeah, like that show.
Catchphrase.
Laughing and who would write the stuff on her body?
Oh man, that was Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn. Yeah, young Goldie Hawn. Okay, so they would pop out and they would
Sock it to me.
Do those little catchphrases. Yeah, and I think that's where like that was
it in your funkin' wagnall.
Because it was like saying far out, baby. Far out went to, man, you're really out there. You're really gone. And so like I said, it's just it never really even caught on back then. So to try to read it, don't challenge. I would say make it easier on yourself.
You go with groundbreaking mama.
Into the pump. Change the title. Yeah, if you can change, I think you're right on. I think you're right on with that. You know, change the title to Groundbreaking Mama.
It's sang twice in the song. And I think
Groundbreaking mama, like 80s Madonna.
Yeah.
You're getting me hot. You're getting me hot. You're getting me.
Yeah.
You're gone. So
Right
maybe,
on.
either you got that or you got a choice of You're Getting Me Hot.
Yeah.
Or just getting me hot.
Yeah. I sing it so weird it's hard to even understand what I'm saying, those lines.
Well, that's where the title would help out.
Yeah. Good point.
Because
I like Groundbreaking Mama at this point.
I like Groundbreaking Mama.
And do you know who that was? That was Martin. Martin was the one. Or maybe it was Jim Price. It was Jim Price, the professor. It was. That said, I liked that song. They played some new song. He came down and saw us at Voma. It was the first outdoor show when it was still pandemic, and it was the first socially distanced one.
Yeah.
We had to do it. And he came down. He did some sketches, of course, because he's the professor. And he did a write-up. And the write-up mentioned, talked about the evening and the songs that he was familiar with. And said even some new ones. And then he said one that I really cared, one I really liked was, I correct me if I'm wrong, but it was Groundbreaking Mama and Coming Home. And he named a couple new ones. And I was like, yeah, I know which one he means, but yeah, it's not what it's called. But maybe he was right all along because he, with his radio mind, he heard the hook. That was the hook in his mind,
Hold on just a minute.
I want to call the advertising team right now. Stop the presses.
Ha!
It's like if you get the first 100 prints of the Black album with a title on it, the song was released under a different title. What was the original title? And then Elektra Records pulled it because it confused anyone that wasn't under the age of 70.
True story.
Yeah. I dodged a bullet.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, do you want to, to me, once you hear the song, but it's like, what did you have to grow up with to understand? It's like, would people, I don't know, man. It just makes getting back in the game, D.D. Randall said. What does that mean? You're back into the show here? What we're talking about, TT, is that the title of that song and the vernacular of You're Gone. And so, if you name a song.
I think she might have been referring to are you saying that you're getting back into putting shows together? Because she's, we first met because an excellent collaboration.
Okay,
go ahead, Adam.
Well, anyway, what we're talking about is a title of a song. If it's named You're Gone, what do you think of when you hear You're Gone? Do you think of somebody who's far out and really hip, or do you think of saying goodbye to somebody and you're thinking it's going to be a sad song?
Love Lorne. Yeah, she's gone. No.
So that's what that's so anyway.
That's good advice. I'm gonna roll with that. I'm gonna roll with that.
I think that's
valuable.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's empower. Like the song is an empowering song. It's about a partner, a male or female, whatever, but just looking at this woman as saying you got it all together. There's even referencing Dorothy Parker, who is strong and ahead of her time. The song, it doesn't sound like he's unhappy. She's gone.
Read what she just wrote.
There it is.
Because of the title,
right
there. That's probably why she didn't like it, because she was thinking You're Gone, and then you don't sound like you're unhappy. Because that's not what it meant at all.
It's not what the song's about. It means she's far out. She's gone.
Just take that as the validation you needed right there,
point.
TK.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I was
better off without her somehow. Nope.
Yeah, that's not what the song's about. So yeah, there it is. There it is.
There it is. There's your validation. So
good.
Well, I'm glad we caught that
right
in time. And another, what that is another validation is, of what I was saying what we were saying right before that, which is to be open, to be in the moment, to note the signposts when they appear, so that you keep going in the right direction instead of fighting it and ignoring that shit because you want to go this way and you're making it hard. All you're going to do is make it harder on yourself and the song, and you're going to have more interpretations like that, which doesn't help the song. It makes people go, I don't like it because he should be. It's confusing, and they're gonna, and they're gonna think, why does he? I don't understand what's going on.
Right.
So
okay, cool. Dodge that bullet. Thank you. This was a
what
$1 million
awesome
critique.
Night.
Yes,
because this was this two big things happened live right now, and I just sent this message.
Okay.
To Jimmy Adler, saying, "Hey Jimmy, checking your availability for Johnstown Ethnic Fest on the 3rd Avenue Arts Moment Stage, Saturday, September 4th, 8 to 11 as Grizz. Is this a possibility? Please let me know. I'll come to your show tomorrow at Cheswick to check you guys out, but I would love Zydeco for Ethnic Fest, and the crowd loves it. Side note, there are usually well over 500 people at our stage Saturday night. So that should be enough to prime his pump."
Agreed.
And you know, that's what it's about, man. It's about that's what we're all about here in the big room. Priming
pumps. Cow, 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 cow.
My favorite part is Dr. J's backing vocals.
Ah, right on. Yeah.
Yeah. The song TT is about the idea that the way that T's using the word "you're gone" is to say you're far out, baby. It's very 60s reference, very
right on is right there too.
Yeah, right on. You're right on. You're far out. Like you're super hip. She's a hip. He's describing a hip woman that's as hip as Madonna. Groundbreaking.
Dorothy Parker.
You know, he's like, man, you're like, yeah, like Dorothy Parker. So it's actually a huge compliment to say you're gone, baby. Like you're far out. But it's so not far been used that, man, you just that's the validation of point, right? Is that most people are going to think, why is he so happy that in
the title again, in the title, calling it that
sets them up for one form of interpretation that they then have to break. They have to break that.
Not only that, I don't love hearing lovelorn songs. I'm not that person. So seeing a band that has a title, "You're Gone," it's like, oh man, do I really feel like being sad right now? Anyway,
there you go. Well, there's
another good point.
Yeah, there's two reasons. All right, so that happened tonight. You got a decision happening there, and I might have a new band for Ethnic Festival in a totally new direction. One that's never played Roma, never played the Ethnic Festival. Now that said, one of the conversations I was thinking about having tonight was the idea of what you proposed earlier, and this may still happen because they might not be available. This Grizz, okay? But if Grizz is available, I want to work with them, and I want to put them together. I want to make sure that I have the band that I want coming, which would be Zydeco, and then I could advertise in marketing like the return of Zydeco to Ethnic Festival. That's a headline right there.
That's a headline.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, our stage will be fucking crazy. We'll have 1,000 people at our stage. Faux show. It'll be packed.
Give me 1 second. I'm missing one ingredient. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Yeah. Don't want the dead airspace. TT, Gree. Yeah. Do you think? Do you understand that what we were saying about T's song though? He's going to change the title from "You're Gone." He's going to change the title of the song because of this conversation that we just had. He's going to change the title of the song to "Groundbreaking Mama." Because that's really what the song is about. It's about you're a groundbreaking mama, like 80s Madonna. Like you're so forefront. You're. She says, "Good call." Yeah, and because that's what it's really about, and that's what I was trying to say is like the title's actually quite misleading. Your comment validated that it was indeed misleading.
Thank you.
So that was great. It's a very productive night on a night that we weren't going to show up.
Yeah.
10:32. This was posted.
Nice.
10:32.
Beautiful. 2 thumbs up.
Good call and 2 thumbs up.
You know, one thing that was
10:32.
talked, you even mentioned earlier, Adhawk, about having
Thank you, TT.
test audience. This was like a full-fledged test audience, you know, like they do for film. And by the way, I like the other format better, by the way.
Yeah, with a producer that happens to be your brother, but happens to have a lot of experience in, you know, marketing and advertising, and just being aware of like what different audiences, you know, you always have your different audiences, you know, and you have to change your message and adapt your message to that audience. And the more that you can do that, the more successful you will be. And that's just, you know, it's like with my company, it's like it's very distinct. You start a rideshare company. I have 2 audiences, very distinct. One are the riders and one are the drivers, and they want different things. The drivers want to get paid as much as possible for taking the rider from point A to point B. The rider wants to pay as little as possible to get from point A to point B. So, but I, as an intermediary, we need to satisfy both audiences. How do you do it? How do you do it? And so I have a proposal on how to do that. But and you kind of straddle that. You make both of them investors in the company, where they both have a seat at the table to discuss what is fair. And you keep the conversation about that, and you also shift it to saying the conversation's going to remain between you two, and Sage is a middleman, is really going to act as an intermediary. We're not the decision makers. Like Uber and Lyft are like, we're the decision makers, and we're going to tell you both. Sage, our thing is like, no, we're going to listen to you guys, and we're going to have you guys at the table. We're just going to act as an intermediary to keep the conversation going, because it's clear what everybody knows what your wants are, but where's the happy middle ground? Where's the value proposition where, you know, as a rider, you say, this is a great value. And then as a driver, you're saying, I'm getting paid well enough to where this is a great value for me, a great opportunity for me to pick you up and take you to the strength. And the way to do it is to, you know, I mean, like I said, without boring you guys and totally shifting the conversation away from music, because music's way more fun. And honestly, it's one of the things that I think of quite frequently. I told you, T, that you know, that I saw the movie yesterday with BT, with Lemon Blade. We went to go see Summer of Soul, which was produced by Questlove.
Oh yeah,
and it's awesome. And the really cool thing was the night
went
before
to see it. I didn't realize it was in a theater. I thought it was like in
the theater. It's in the theater. It was released on the 2nd.
Oh my goodness, the sound had to be.
And the pictures were pristine. Like, it's so cool.
Tell everybody what the movie is.
Okay, TT, you should go see this movie as well if you can. It's called Summer of Soul. And at the same exact time that Woodstock was happening, there was another concert that was happening in Harlem, and it was all black bands, from Stevie Wonders to Mavis Staples and the Staples Singers to man, there was just like dozens. There was over a dozen performers who I can't go through all of them in my mind right now, but I'll pull it up and you'll take a look, and you're gonna see like it was a concert that was equally as powerful in so many ways to what Woodstock was. Now, Woodstock, you can't say it was for white people. There was certainly a great, grizgriz, pronounced grigri is a term. Sorry, this is a little aside, but I had to pop this up.
Thank you.
Funny. Is a term used to describe the type of religio-magical system practiced by the folks in New Orleans voodoo tradition. According to the New Orleans Voodoo Museum, the etymology of the word grigri, or Grease. Gary Gree. I don't know.
Gary Gree.
Yeah, the
Gary Grease.
Mende language. Groups a little
Hmm.
to the north of B9 and what is Senegal and Mali. Man, that's a lot of terms that we don't hear on
Man,
the
that's
normal.
awesome. It makes me give them even much more interest and respect knowing that they want to honor that, you know?
Wow. Yes, that is awesome. Well, let me see if I can pull the Summer Soul bit. But anyway, saw it. So Questlove produced this, right? Now, he did an awesome job. The footage when you're watching it is like it's very much documentary style. So he starts it off with like this was happening at the same time this happened. And on that same day, there was a moon landing. The moon landing happened the same day. So this footage from Harlem was outshined by there's only so much room in the media. This footage got buried.
So wait,
it hasn't seen the light of day.
Woodstock was happening during a moon landing?
Apparently.
Man, that's all kind of big,
that's
powerful
crazy,
shit
right?
that day.
How's that possible? Yeah, I didn't
don't
know.
I got to research that in the big cosmological cycle of energy. Like, why was that day chosen?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, that's interesting. Wow,
Man.
that's some interesting shit. There's big
That
harnessing a lot of energy that day. Harnessing a lot of energy.
Where's your
you saw the waterfront, huh?
No, we didn't. I saw it here at Classic Westmoreland.
Okay.
But it might be at that movie theater right next to you.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I got big echo. Every time you share the screen, that's where it echoes. Nina.
Yeah, Nina Simone was there. Crushed.
She always crushed.
She just crushed it. Like, oh my God. Like, I had no freaking clue. I mean, honestly, I didn't even start listening to Nina Simone until 2020.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean,
did you see the documentary? Is that what got you into it then?
No, okay.
Where'd you go? Something like that.
I listened to Nina Simone's one song that inspired Jeff Buckley, and that was
Strange Fruit.
Yeah, and I listened to that like over, that was like 15 years ago already. But I never got into her musical because I thought it was mostly like kind of Negro spirituals or whatever, and that kind of like, I don't know. I didn't the way her vocal choice.
Her vocal is very unique.
Well, in Strange Fruit, it's amazing, but in other songs, it's very odd. It's a very odd timbre that she chooses, and
it's in the head, and then it's masculine and it's in the head, but it's really. She never. I don't think she never wanted to sing. It's that Jimi Hendrix thing.
Well, somebody said that what she does is, yes, it is on Hulu. It is on Hulu. You can watch it on Hulu for like $6.50. But ironically, that's what I paid for my movie ticket because it was before 5. I saw it for like $6.50. It's awesome. But this is hour and 57 minutes long. It was released on July 2nd. It's a documentary about the legendary 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival. Which
I have a question: is it kid friendly?
African American music and culture. Yeah, it's definitely kid friendly. Yeah, 100%.
I wonder if the lads would dig on this.
Dude, I'll go see it again. Like it was. I'll go see it in the theater again. Okay, surefire to bring a smile to your face. The biggest funk, R&B, soul, and gospel acts of 1969 come together. Oh my God! And the opening is. Yeah. Oh Lord, I don't even want to ruin it for you. I'll leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. But it's Stevie Wonder. I'll tell you it's Stevie Wonder, and it just blows your lid what he brought to this party.
He's gone.
It's crazy.
He's gone. He's right on.
Oh my God.
There's a big echo. Whenever you share your screen, there's a big echo. TT, is there an echo to my voice, or is it just in my cans?
Well, in any case, let me see if there's any. I would play the trailer, but the trailer might get us taken down.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's Sly.
Yes, good call. Yeah, Sly and the Family Stone.
That's Gladys Knight right there. Oh, look at that. That's I can't see the faces, but
I can't remember the name of this band, but they were wild, man. They were really cool.
Not the OJ. Is that BB?
BB.
I can't see his face, but it looks like BB.
Yeah. This dude,
oh, that's probably
it's not Miles Davis.
It's not Little Stinky from Sly and the Family Stone.
No. This is a guy that like I never heard of. I gotta look up his band. I mean, he killed it. He slayed.
Look at that stage, it's hip as hell too.
Slayed. Yeah, there's that backdrop I was talking about, bro.
I love it.
Which was all squares and stuff, right?
Love it.
That's 60s. That's his You're Gone. This is the You're Gone era.
Yeah.
This is the end of the
Talk it to
You're
me.
Gone, baby. You're far out. Like, yeah, this Mod Squad.
Mm-hmm. Look how beautiful.
JJ Jackson and odd looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it was and their performance, this dude, Sly and the Family Stone, like you wouldn't believe how good it was, man.
Oh, I'm excited. Oh,
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited. Wow, man, I gotta get heady and see that film.
And Questlove is, he's interviewed in I watched the James Brown documentary, and he's interviewed in that, and that was produced by Mick Jagger. It's an excellent documentary about James Brown, and produced by Mick Jagger. That's amazing. Available on Amazon Video, Amazon Prime Video. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. And Questlove was interviewed in that because they interviewed him because he's kind of, they wanted to talk about the funky drummer riff and how that was the second incarnation of James Brown's band, because he replaced all the members of his band with the exception of one of the drummers, but he brought on a second drummer. But from their first drummer, that Stubblefield, they interviewed him, and he's the one that came up with that riff that was called the Funky Drummer. And he talks about how that came up. And get this, he says, they interview him. He goes, man, it was a day that I didn't want to go to the rehearsal because James Brown called and said, man, it was like they just played a show. And then for whatever reason, James Brown wanted to go in the studio. A lot of similarities between James Brown and Prince.
Yeah,
shit like that.
Yeah.
And just task mastering the band and told the band, like, no, you show up. Oh, sorry. I'm pulling up these answers now. She posted this at 10:42. Okay. It is now 10:45. This is 3 minutes late. But yeah,
that's fine. It seemed like you solved the echo at the end there anyway.
Yeah, that art style is very Partridge Family. Yes.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
yeah, so James Brown
based off of Pied Montreal.
James Brown tells Stubblefield to show up, and while he's waiting for James Brown to show up, he comes up with he just started playing that riff just to warm up and
let off steam, probably
let off some steam and whatever else. But James Brown walked in and was like, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Now that's how that happened. Wow. So it was.
That's one of the only drum beats I can know how to play.
And who taught it to you?
You did.
Stubblefield taught it to you, but I gave you the opportunity to get behind the drum kit.
Absolutely.
And say, dude, you can do this. This is how you do it.
Yep. You taught me. You calmed me. You calmed my nervousness. I can't sing and play. I still can't sing and play. Can't harmonize and play. Can't do that yet. But I can sit behind a drum kit. Thanks to Adhawk right here.
Yeah, Mundok Brothers. You did it live. You did. You
Yeah, we
played
used to play
drums
drums live.
behind me.
Yeah, TT. I used to play drums, live. Adhawk and I had a 2-man show called the Mundok Brothers. I moved back from San Fran. 2 months later, you moved back or 2 weeks later, almost. It's a few months. You moved back from LA, and we were playing open mic nights and a couple shows as the Mundok Brothers.
There was an 8-month delay as I tried to do something with Brad, and we talked about doing something called DJ Brothers. Because Brad, is a great bass player, but
Lemon Blade.
But he also has an extensive music library, and he loves music DJing, just like Questlove. Questlove is like a DJ, like mad DJ, like he loves DJing, even though he's a drummer for the Roots and for Jimmy Fallon's show and everything else. But he loves DJing because he loves music that much, and this production is the first thing he ever produced as a documentary, his documentary. And it's awesome. And what I was saying is when you're watching this documentary, it's freaking weird because there's moments like it feels like a movie. And you're like, who's playing those parts? And it's like, it's not a movie. It's a documentary. And those are the real people.
Wow.
But how did they get that footage?
Wow.
And it was very, very, very well documented. And the producer who put the show on was it's from he did festivals just like take this full circle here, just like Ethnic Festival, but he lived in Harlem and he was black and he was tied to the black community, and there was all this angst and stuff was going on with Vietnam too.
Wow.
That the news was so heated and there was so much similarities to 2020 where if you didn't have a concert that could that was like, there's literally a scene in this movie where they interview like the mayor of New York, and he says like, this concert I'm hoping can be a valve to let off a little steam. It's just one valve out of many, but America is a freaking, he doesn't say
pressure cooker.
Yeah, he says it's a pressure cooker right now. And he's like, if this is what we can do, then this is what we can do. And it's very similar to another thing that I saw from James Brown, because James Brown got very activated in and part of the when James Brown changed his band over to like where he brought over the Collins brothers, Bootsy and his brother, Bootsy Collins on bass, and his brothers, I don't remember his name, Chris Collins or something, like, not Chris Collins.
Bootsy Collins, originally from Parliament, Funkadelic, for you out there.
I think he went. I think he might have played Parliament after James Brown. I'm not really sure when that happened. Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure.
That might
with
make
sense. What the timeline.
Yeah, I don't know. This
is
new to me. I didn't know he actually.
I think it was before Parliament, because the thing is that he talks about
how did he pick up the Collins brothers? That's interesting.
Yeah, they had their own band, and like these guys were still wet behind the ears, and in the James Brown documentary, they interviewed Bootsy, and it's like, it's really awesome. Again, produced by, Mick Jagger for the Rolling Stones.
That's fascinating.
So it's really cool. There's a little snippet of Mick Jagger in there about what his influence and why he was motivated to do this thing. But what we see from Bootsy was like that, he's like, man, he's like, these guys, when I walked onto the stage with my brother and the band, I didn't know that he hadn't, like, his old band was still on the stage, and we're walking on, and then basically James Brown was like, it was an uncool move. I mean, it was very, very rude. James Brown goes, basically, you guys are done. You can get off the stage now. Whoever wants to stay can stay. This is the new band. And that happened live. And that's how that happened. So and he flew them in from New York, unbeknownst to his old band. The old band showing up, and then they see this new band walk on for rehearsals. and you're hearing it from Bootsy's recollection, in which he goes, man, it was so I put me in a weird place, because here's my idols. Like this is like who I looked up to. And you know, and then, but he was like, but at the same time, I wasn't missing this opportunity. You know? So
not
I was
normally
staying.
in my shot.
It was his shot. And and then James like rode him for a long time, for like months, saying, you ain't doing it right, man. You ain't doing it right. You're staying with me. And he's like, man, I wanted to go out and get the girls. Like the rest of the band, he's like, James would make me ride with him. James would make me fly with him. Like I didn't go anywhere. My life was eat, sleeping, and breathing everything. And he's like, watch me. And he's like, he would like on the plane, he goes, James Brown will fall asleep in his seat. I swear to God, I had one eye shut and the other eye was watching me. And he's like, that was my life for 6 months or something. And he's like, but you know, he's like, I did realize things that it made me better. He's like, you know, because I would have gone out and party and like whatever else. But he was like, that's what it was, man. It was, and he stepped up and he learned things and he got tighter, and that led into a lot of different things, man. But anyway, yeah, Clyde Stubblefield he's the one that laid down the funky drum riff. There was a second drummer in the original. There was two drummers in the first version of James Brown's band. I don't remember the other drummer's name, but he's in the video, you know, of course. And but he kind of played more like rhythm. Like you had a drummer that played kind of. They would exchange different. They had different feels, and the one drummer would like do this like kind of rhythm, like more jazzy type stuff. And then the other one would play this like Stubblefield. It was like
one would hold it down, and one would be like a percussionist, an accent artist.
Yeah. And so the one drummer, you know, the was the trained one, and then Stubblefield didn't have any training, but he was like, he's like, I don't read music. He's like, I use my ear, and that's how I was raised, and that's what I do, and I feel the music. But yeah, very, very true. They're much more like a percussionist, much more loose, and that's how he got the flow. But that was James Brown's original band, and then he had the second band. But yeah, super interesting.
Hey, I'll definitely be watching that. I didn't know it was even on.
But James Brown,
haven't been watching a lot of stuff.
It's a great video. It's a great documentary because you see.
What's the title of the documentary, by the way?
No, there's not a lot of James Brown documentaries.
Good point.
Just Google it. James
Brown documentary. Mick Jagger.
Yeah, producer.
Search.
Man, it's awesome because they have interviews of him doing news interviews talking about like, you know, like he was known for like James Brown was known for having his he got known for his hair and like, you know, and he shaved it and went back to the natural style. Like he was trying to be a positive influence in the best way that he could for the Black community. But man, it's just so good. It's an awesome, awesome documentary. You got to see it. You got to see it. And the parallels between him as a character and Prince is remarkable. Like, for instance,
I'm just hearing that. I was thinking about that, you know, with the switch up of bands. There's been a lot of amazing interviews, you know, since he's passed with the bandmates of the eras. And a lot of podcasts, even, you know, documenting, you know, certain eras of his life that are amazing, especially the Sign of the Times documentary, a podcast. Amazing. But in hearing what James Brown did with Sly, you know, I'm thinking back to an interview with Brown Mark and talking about how he groomed him, you know, how the first couple of days that he was hired on, or whatever, I'm probably exaggerating, but when he was hired on or whatever, there were days where rehearsal was Brown Mark came to the house and he had him stand in front of the mirror for hours.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know about hours, but
yeah, well, again, I might.
But yeah, like stand in front of
the mirror, like
check your look, like
he was like long, like he was like a long time, you know. And there's a lot of magic in that if you study mirror magic and stuff like that. But as far as like, you know, projecting and finding your matrix self into reality, you know what I mean? And like finding your stance to study, you know, and then he talks about, you know, going out, you know, and, you know, his boys being like, you know, why are you standing like that or whatever? And he didn't even realize that he was standing in the power pose. You know what I mean? And they were being his old mates were being overshadowed by his new persona that he walked in as, that he gleaned from, you know, mirror magic.
Wow.
Prince was in tune with that. But nevertheless, yeah, you know.
Well, the other thing is that like the sad ending to it is that like everybody talks about, you know, how it's like how the walls that James Brown, because he came from poverty and came from nothing and wanted to make it so bad and sought out his way, you know, that he never allowed himself to get too close to the band members and didn't have any real friends. And so
I wonder what that's like.
Similar to like Prince, and that I heard a lot of interviews from his band members, even at Prince, you know, saying, yeah, it's like I feel like he died alone. And they were like, they all felt like it's sad, but at the same time, when you knew him, you knew that you couldn't really, he wasn't the type of person that you could tell him that you loved him, and he would never tell you like he loved you directly. But if you told him you loved him, then like he would take that as a sign of kind of weakness to, he would hold you down with it. He would manipulate you with it. You know, he would make you jump through extra hoops or something. So there was this insecurity that both of them had as individuals, just striving for something that maybe could never be, but they really lived for the music, and the music was their only friend. And he, you know, and made that clear, both of them, by saying, you know what, like what Prince in the Revolution saying, he did something very similar to James Brown, you know, with the Revolution, saying, I don't need you guys. And then he replaced them, you know, with She Lee. And it was like She Lee came in, and then he just
I don't need you guys. I don't need nobody.
Yes. but the introspection to have.
Life's a bitch.
Thank you, Purple Rain.
Yeah, that was awesome, T. That was awesome. That was good, man.
Yeah, he came right out and said it, man.
With the little doll. Yeah, he came right out and said
else.
It. He had it in the movie. There was an introspection. There was an awareness of, this is what I am becoming as a Frankenstein's monster. But fuck, the shit that we're putting out is great. And if this is what it takes to become a superstar, this is the life of a superstar. These are the sacrifices a superstar has to make. I'm willing to make them to become legend. And the fucking truth is in that. So be careful what you wish for, musicians, because you all think you want the fame, you think you want the money, but you better be damn sure, study the ones that came before you, because they're telling you, the signposts are very clear. It comes at a price. You will sacrifice a lot for that. And mentally, if you lose it, when you lose it, if you lose it, and you'll lose some of it. From the height of your fame to the height of it, you'll say, is it? Because I still don't feel incomplete. I still don't feel 100% complete. And then you have a little fall for grace where you're not charting in the top 10s anymore. And everybody's like, you know, people abandon. And then that's a different type of mind fuck. And you know, and we just see it. If you look at celebrities from actors to music, I'll wrap up. But if you look at from actors to music, I mean, we see it time and time again, and it's tragic. There's a tragedy in a lot of these figures, man.
So I think there's there's definitely a tragedy in that, like amazing. What you're saying, when you know if the goal is to be superstar. T. But I don't think
everybody's gonna have to. I'm sorry, we're out of time.
So we're out of time. Good night. Goodbye.
So yeah, everybody, if you want to hear what T's response is, come back next week.
Superstar or artist visionary? Let's find out next week. Or goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
How do I get out of here?
You always want.
Something too.
Wizard man, somebody's across the pond. Rev. Wizard man,
Wizard man.
somebody's from the frozen land. Figure this out.
Stand by. Meeting will start 4 p.m. Eastern Standard.
The meeting will start now.
Mind officially blown. This I did not expect. Wow.
All the buttons. All the buttons are up.
All the
Wow.
buttons.
What up,
Wow.
BB Rumble?
Hey.
Wow,
Hey,
BB.
Yeah,
How
man.
did this happen?
I just finished work a
Just
while
got
ago.
done with
He's
work.
more of an after hours party guy. He's like, yeah. You
Where are you
plebeians and celebrities, just do your thing. I'll meet you at the after hours party
Yeah.
where the real shit happens.
Lobbying.
Yes.
Can we actually start the big room at midnight? Can
Midnight, yeah.
Do
we?
this?
That would be much better for me. Amongst like, can't do it, man. Kids
Nah,
wake up at 6,
nah, man.
7.
No, man, that's gonna hurt too much. That's gonna hurt.
Too much
Here's the
pain.
Too much pain for me.
Pain.
Existence
Who's that a
is-
quote from? Mr. T.
Oh,
Rocky Balboa.
Clubber Lang.
That's right, Rubber Wang. So, BB, welcome to the big room, my
Yeah.
friend.
yeah, welcome to your big room.
Yeah.
Your big
Started
room. It's
so
it's
many
been a
years ago.
wonderful evening, actually.
Biggity,
No,
biggity,
you know,
Yeah, we've had a process of discovery that wouldn't have happened had we not have this thing. I was talking about the Ethnic Festival because TT Randall was the first guest who showed up. Hadn't showed up in weeks, she said,
Right, yeah.
but she showed up, and she used to be a producer for Black Cat Moon, and so I went into Ethnic Festival conference. It's been funny because I'm booking for Ethnic Festival, and I contacted 4 bands, of which was Black Cat Moon, to see that whole weekend, Ethnic Festival, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All of them were like, can't do anything on Saturday, but I could do Friday night. So I had 4 bands vying for Friday night. And Black Cat Moon wins out.
At the inside street.
Yeah.
Wow.
TT Randall was like, nepotism. And I was like, no, not really.
proof's in the
I
pudding,
said,
baby.
But I was like, no, I mean, honestly, I try to, there's always nepotism, but I said, I try to step out and say, what band they put on a great show. Like the Monk puts on a great show. Black Cat Moon puts on a great show. And they were up against horn bands. Cause I always love to put like horns. People love horns for the Ethnic Festival.
Hold on,
It goes back to
stand
the
up,
tradition of
please.
Mardi Gras and that Zydeco. And so
Oh, yeah.
as the conversation goes on, I was thinking about I looked up this thing that I sent you a link to that's happening in Millville, where there's like 120 bands playing over 3 days. Black Cat Moon's one
Black
of them.
Cat Moon. Yeah, I know.
And I was like, a lot of outsourced stages. I'm like, from a promoter's level, again, like this is a strategic, like kind of nightmare. Like Like,
Right,
this is
yeah.
crazy to have that many bands. Like, you have half an hour, but a lot of them there were comedians and different things. And anyway, so that led to me finding this band called Gree.
Hannah K-Rock, everybody.
This band called Gree, which is, as TT pointed out, Gree is a term used to describe any type of religio-medical system practiced by folks in New Orleans voodoo tradition. And they play Zydeco. And this band's here in Pittsburgh. I've never seen them before, never heard of them, but there's a band called Gree, and the serendipity continued because one of the guys in the band, Jimmy Adler, who's very well-known blues guitarist, is in this band. I had no idea, even though Jimmy's played at VOMA several times with Charlie Brath, amazing harmonica player, and without Charlie Brath. But I've known Jimmy for a few years now through VOMA. He's in the band Gree. No idea. Never heard of Gree before. I've heard of it, but I didn't know that Jimmy was in it, and I've never seen him. And then the serendipity finished up by the fact that Gree is playing in Cheswick tomorrow night. Cheswick is basically Springdale.
Is where
right
the Monk.
There. It's 5 minutes from TK's place.
At the Monk.
Tomorrow. Gree and Jimmy Adler. So I'm like, psh. So anyway, so then I'm like, dude, this is amazing. I would love to have the title Bringing Zydeco Back to the Ethnic Festival. 3rd Avenue Arts. Bringing Zydeco Back to the Ethnic Festival.
That'll pack
Unfortunately,
the place. Oh my gosh.
We have to end this whole amazing story with a bit of sad news, because during this episode, I sent this message right here, which you can't read, but I said, hey, Jimmy, check in your availability for Johnstown Ethnic Festival, blah, 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 blah. I love Gree, want to bring it back, everything I just described. Side note, there's usually well over 500. He goes, Adam, I'll be in Baltimore that weekend. Come out and see Gree. They're a great brand, and they might be able to do it with another guitar player.
Oh.
Jimmy Adler, you're a cool dude. Thank you.
Very cool, dude.
Yeah, so now I got okay, so that's not completely sad news. And I might bring Zydeco back to the Ethnic Festival. I'm gonna go see Gree tomorrow. Hopefully the Monk can join me.
I might be able to.
And I think that I'm gonna make this happen.
I'll bring the
telling Denny earlier today. I just earlier today, I was thinking, I said, what about John Bagnato? It's a hometown favorite. We've done a Zydeco night at VOMA about 3 years ago, one of our bass players, and I was like, he knows a guy. He's a keyboard player, and he's all about it. And this is the dude that he was talking about.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, our boy, who hosts our monthly jazz night, Mark Perna. He knows this guy. So I think I could definitely put this together. And DiStefano, I had DiStefano down on that. So T, your suggestion of DiStefano might even happen as the guitar player.
Oh, nice.
We snap attack.
Yeah. Dude.
Wow.
And I play percussion on it. So I'm it's gonna be a freaking Zydeco party with King Adhawk, which the name is also very Zydeco, right? They always have like King something or other, down there in New Orleans. Creole. I've never been in New Orleans, but I'm familiar. So King Adhawk on percussions. Might have DiStefano or Bagnato on guitar.
Stefano, Bagnato.
I think Saturday is going to be freaking pumping. Awesome. And this all just happened. This entire episode. This was the episode.
Oh yeah.
And then we didn't even talk about what happened. So
Black Cat Moan's releasing a new song. It's in the final mixes, and we're going through cover art. And through tonight's conversations about cover art and the song itself, its meaning, the title of this song might even change because of tonight's conversation tonight.
Nice.
It's pretty fucking epic night. God damn it.
Yeah, because
BB, question. Yeah, I don't want to get into that because everybody can rewind, and BB, you know how to watch this episode.
Yeah, but he's also a different audience for the question.
True, but I have a first question.
And what would that be?
Maybe it's what are you drinking?
I am just having a little bit of ugly drink.
Sounds
Uh,
delicious.
Ugly mango is what it is. It's a brand called Ugly,
Okay.
and it's basically seltzer water, no added sugar. It's no sugar, no preservatives, no chemicals.
Like a seltzer.
Like a seltzer with a little bit of mango flavor in it, and 160 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh, that's what you're doing right now.
I got more work to do tonight. Yeah.
Oh, there you go, man. There you go. That's a trick of the trade. 5 years ago, it would be a pound and a half of cocaine, and you didn't want to know that, BB, because chances are he would have kicked your ass. And chances are, he
just
he would have fucked your ass up back in the day.
Yeah, Hannah K. Rock made him taste it.
Hannah K. Rock.
I felt like Rick from Rick and Morty right there.
These ugly drinks, they make a whole bunch of stuff, and I've had a few of them now. They're all good. They have like an ugly orange soda.
Ooh, that looks delicious.
And they're all clear. They're all just clear seltzer water. But
a lot of caffeine.
Something like the orange soda doesn't. The orange soda is just like a very, very light orange peel kind of flavor. But again, no sugars,
and all caffeine.
No caffeine on that one.
The thing is, oh, really? That's great. See, the thing is about the sugar. When you mix sugar with caffeine, that fucks your fucking system up, and the crash is a pain, and it's an addictive.
If you get too much on it,
yeah. So right on. Everything working out well. BB couldn't be here tonight because of his
day job.
Well, it's not quite a day job, but his money maker.
Right.
How he helps the world.
Shake your money maker. From a soul. Woo! I saw Summer of Soul yesterday. It's amazing. Got to see it.
Oh, that's that cartoon with.
No, Summer of Soul is a real documentary, live footage of real. It happened the same exact day as Woodstock. Nobody ever heard of it because it's a black music.
It was an Afro conscious summer series.
Stevie Wonder. It happened in Harlem. Stevie Wonder
happened the same time as Woodstock. Got no press. Happened, and
just all the black star. Like Woodstock had Hendrix, so you can't say all the black stars. They did have Hendrix. They had.
I didn't say all. Did I say all of?
No, you didn't say it. I expressed myself.
All black artists.
Don't.
Yeah. Don't.
Without the.
Anyway, very cool. Very cool.
Questlove documentary.
More serendipity because Questlove. This is his first. It's called it's like a Questlove joint. And it's his first It's the first documentary he ever produced, the first movie he ever produced. He loves music, and this footage was in the can for 50 years, and it's awesome. He turns the camera on some of the performers that were there that day, and so he's recording them, watching them for the first time.
Whoa!
From 50 years ago. It's powerful, yeah. And they're like,
holy shit,
crying. They're like, and the one dude's like, oh, man, I'm so I'm not insane. That happened. I don't know. It was so overshadowed. Oh, wait, we got something here. We got something happening here. We got something. What is happening here?
Caffeinated mango soda, ugly energy water, caffeinated sparkling.
That does not look healthy at all.
And yet it is. Other than the caffeine.
Yeah, that's pretty. Oh, it's very clear. That's not ugly. Why do they call it ugly?
I don't know. I'm confused about that too.
Marketing. Adhawk. Oh, it's good times.
Nice.
Sponsored by
yes, indeed.
The same people that are sponsoring tomorrow's Zydeco band out of Moondogs and Saving Moondogs.
I love it. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh man, it's a good night though. I'm great to see you. Get to see you, BB Rumble. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a beautiful surprise, man. Beautiful surprise.
Yeah. I figured I got back to the computer and I'll see if there's anybody still there.
Oh, fuck them.
You got to get back to it, huh?
Oh yeah, soon. Yeah, I mean.
What are you working on? What's the thing that you're doing?
It is a pharmacovigilance audit for Gilead Sciences.
Wow.
All those words are made up.
Those are
okay.
totally made up words.
Yeah.
FOMO code. FOMO code?
Pharmacovigilance.
Pharma
Code vigilance.
Karma. Oh yeah, because
Pharma, like pharmacy.
Pharmaceuticals.
Right. Pharmacovigilance.
Oh, dude, this is right in your wheelhouse of side effects may include blah 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 blah.
Yeah. It's in that. Yeah.
Except you're the one straining for it now, making sure that everything's the code.
Yeah. So they're doing that on live rolls to make sure that we're doing everything right.
Hilarious.
Which we are, but it's just ridiculously long.
You said that it's an 8-hour connection.
Back-to-back days. So it's 8 hours on Wednesday, 8 hours on Thursday, on the phone for 8 straight hours.
They are in your earphones.
Me and 4 other folks on in my company that are all billed out at more than I am per hour.
Wow.
I get billed out at between 150 and 175 an hour.
No shit now. Congratulations.
Well, he's not. That's his company's.
Yeah,
he
billed
said billed out. That's not like going to him. He's salaried.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, man, they must have a lot on the line.
I mean, it's pharmaceutical company. I mean, this is just what happens on high level. Like,
I know, love is a drug.
Yeah, it's just it's like why the drugs. Yeah. It's why nobody can afford freaking insulin because in the
United States.
Yeah, in the United States, because everybody wants to be a fucking millionaire. Even if you're working McDonald's, you know, and it's like, dude, like, sorry, but that's not the same as being. And that's why everybody was so up against socialism. You know, it's like burger flipper shouldn't get paid the same as a doctor, and under socialism they would. Well, they wouldn't. Shouldn't. No, it should still be a merit-based system. I mean, certain jobs are going to pay what they pay. It just won't be fucking completely out of control. It would be somewhat subsidized. I mean, insulin should be a right. There's people that are that sucks. You need that to live, and then
they can manipulate. They slap that fear word in the United States to the ignorant. They slap the fear word of socialism. In the majority of the healthy countries, you know, like the very actively producing healthy societies, that's pretty much the run of the fucking mill.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't.
I don't know. All I know is that there's definitely pharma is a big business. It has been a big business. It's been a very influential business, very government influential business for the decades before they started making commercials. Yeah. So this is where we're at now, America. You know, it's like,
wise up and get it.
When you talk to people in other countries, though,
stop voting outside of your interests, please.
But when you speak to people in other countries, they still say that America still is a land of opportunity, believe it or not. I mean,
opportunity, yes,
many other ways.
It's true. It's opportunity to make money, but you have to pay to play in America. You have to pay for your health, period. And so if you go into it believing you have something to offer, you could be at the gambling table. Fucking America is a fucking casino. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed. And that's why BB's doing well. What is happening? What is happening?
Jack Daniels.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill quick.
Is that going to the Miller Lite?
Yeah, I've been drinking it all night, and I shouldn't be drinking this Miller Lite right now. It's gonna put me over the edge. Woo-hoo-hoo! Here we go. Watch me go.
Here it comes.
Going over the edge.
Well, hold on a second. Speaking of over the edge, I hear one of the lads
creeping towards the edge.
That is a different kind of edge.
Possibly.
He's rolling towards the edge of the bunk bed.
Restroom.
It's gonna fall off.
No. Close my screen. I'll be back in a little bit.
Woo!
Good help, my lad.
Woo!
I love Jack Daniels.
Do you? Well, you just got as affordable and we'll get you drunk?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
that's all you need.
I like it. It is sweet. It's kind of sweet for whiskey,
Yeah.
but it's not sweet like an Irish whiskey, like a cheap Irish whiskey. Like a good Irish whiskey loses the sweetness.
Right.
It's matured in a certain way and it's balanced in a way to where it's not bitter, but like the sweetness is gone. But
Sure.
when you get into something like Jameson, that that has a bit of a sweetness to it. But like if you go to what's the one with the wax seal around it that's so popular?
Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark. It's too sweet. It's sweet in a way that I don't like.
Mhm.
But this sour mash has the sour that like balances. There is a sweetness to that, but it's balanced, and
Sure.
it mixes awesome. Like there's a reason that Jack and Coke is great, but it goes good with Miller Lite too.
Did you just pour it right into the can?
No, you do not want to pour right into the can. I tried that. It doesn't blend well that way.
Right.
It's definitely meant as a, have it on the side, have a shot, and then, get a shot's worth, knowing that this is equivalent to a beer. You can sip it. You don't have to shoot it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then this just cleanses your palate very nicely because it's so watery and it's a pretty good combination. Like it's very American, very blue collar American. What were you saying? This thing we talked about this last week. T knew the term they used to call something where they used to go to miners would go to a bar and say, "Give me a
something."
It wasn't a shot. It was essentially a shot in a beer, right?
Yeah, it was oh fuck.
Do you remember the conversation though?
Yeah.
All right, we'll just don't strain your brain. We'll wait for T to come back if we still care to. Yeah. But yeah, we don't have to. So what do you So you did 8 hours of meetings today?
No, today the thing that we're having the issue is they're calling for these 2 meetings next week, 8 hours each day, 16 total hours.
Okay, that's
for me and 4 other people on the team.
Okay,
but the contract only covers 25 hours of me per month.
Okay,
so for an entire month, they get me for 25 hours.
Okay,
where
they're going to use up 16 of those 25 on this meeting,
plus 16 hours each for 4 other people.
Okay.
So what? So that's not who's paying for that?
Well, I mean, they would just not have access to you for the other time. So you could either have to have that discussion with. I guess your company has a choice now, right?
That's what we're doing tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow's that discussion.
Where it's like, you can either not have that access to them for 3 weeks. Or almost an entire month, right? An entire 4 weeks, but you can have access to the lower ranking people. They'll still be on the job, right?
No, not really.
Well, I mean, no. So wait a second. So basically, I thought you were essentially like a manager liaison.
Yeah, the hourly people, that doesn't affect the schedule at all.
Yeah, the people actually
reviewing.
What do you guys? Is this essentially the workflow? Like you guys have some type of app that you developed that plugs in via API and scans their social media to flag certain words that are obvious and other words that aren't.
It brings in all of them. It brings in everything on that social media page.
Okay. And then at that point, but there's probably some type of software that would highlight, so you're not just counting on human eyes. It's like, if it's the word fuck or shit or pussy or, big tits and ass in that combination, some contextual words that might make it, if it's just ass, we have to look at this, but how's the ass used? You know, what's the words before and after the word ass is what we need to judge the context on. That's where the human factor comes in. But there's some type of highlighting that comes on that says, you know, they could kind of, like, it's when you scan a document for a certain word and it shows you there's this many instances, there's 54 instances of this word in the past hours, in the past 1 hour of streaming. And then they would just be like, okay, next, and it would just jump down to that part of the conversation. Or do
Correct.
these humans actually have to read the entire fucking thing?
They will eventually have to read the entire thing, but it also highlights those words because it's not just specific words. You've got to know.
It's a context.
Yeah. So you can't just search just for words, or you would be searching for so many words that would be irrelevant. You know, because are you going to search for hang for someone threatening to hang themselves?
But this is where AI comes in. You know, this is the most common way artificial intelligence is being used right now, is to like kind of self-determine, you know, to make, it's supposed to make humans more efficient.
Yeah.
So, and this is what they're saying is like AI to really not destroy the human race is we have to find that synergy to where the AI does something very well and we do something very well. And this is a great example of that. It's like AI, scan this document, show me all the instances there might be something questionable. And then it makes the human more efficient because they don't need to read every fucking word. They only need to read 54 instances of phrases around these different points in the last hour, which is obviously time saving, tremendously time saving. And that would be the algorithm that you know, that your company would sell them, is that we do this better than any other using AI, a blend of human and artificial intelligence. We are able to scan your documents more efficiently, which is better for you because you're still getting paid billable hours for the human. And labor, American labor, to tie us back what we were saying before, part of why, you know, a lot of people say that, like, looking 10 to 20 years in the future, like, why do empires fall? Historically, it's because they try to bite off more than they can chew. You know, I mean, if it's England or whatever, it's like you want to go in all these different places and have your say be the law of the land, but you can't manage all of them. And so, you know, outside of the context of violent war, when you're talking about modern warfare, it's more economic. It's more economic, and it should be less and less. Hopefully, the future of human civilization is less about warfare and more about economic competition.
You would
and figuring out who can do what better. And then we have currencies. This is where Bitcoin comes in, because, you know, we have an exchange rate. And we could see that it's like easier to outsource people in other countries to do certain tasks, but not all tasks. You know, if you're human and you brought up in America and you're college educated, you have a certain value that you can bring to the job that you're trying to do at LW. I won't say the company, but you know, instead of hiring somebody from Bangladesh, right?
Oh, yeah.
But from Sage's perspective, like, we want to leverage other countries and use that as a part of our strength to say, we're going to hire Filipinos because they're raised speaking English and Filipino, and or whatever, Tagalog is Tagalog is their language. So I correct myself. It's not Filipino, but the Filipina is a female Filipino, but it's not their language. Their language is Tagalog. So anyway, they're grown. So we want to have them as to be like we want to have excellent customer service, but to pay an American, are we going to pay them $15 an hour to answer a phone? No, we don't want to do that. We do, however, want to pay our drivers $15 an hour, because a driver has a lot fucking more responsibility. They got human lives, human cargo in the back of their, car that they're transporting from point A to point B, sometime involving major highways. And statistically, cars are less, if you in the world of transportation, you're safer in an airplane than you are in a car. So that driver does have a lot of responsibility with your fucking life, whether you'd like to believe so or not. So we want to pay them $15 minimum hour. However, answering the phones, we would like to pay them $7 an hour if we could. If we could do that by hiring somebody that has an accent and that lives in the Philippines, that's a money saving opportunity. But it's not always an option for different companies.
Yeah.
But for you guys, you have competition. You have other people that do what you do and are going to the big players like FedEx and American Express and whoever else, and are saying, "Hey, we know you're dealing with this company, LW over here, but here's what we can do for you." And we can, and they're always going to be talking dollars and cents, because business is always at the bottom. At the end of the day, if it makes money, it makes sense. If it saves money, it makes sense. It's dollars and cents. It's always dollars and cents. So, you got to be able to speak that language to them. You got to speak the language of efficiency. And I know that your company definitely values U.S. employees and U.S. employers. And there is a value to that. But it always doesn't always make sense in every position. Some it's going to make sense more so than others. And the way that the world is changing with AI is that a lot of white-collar jobs, including accounting, their kind of heads are on the chopping block now, because you have a lot of SaaS companies, software as a service companies, that as a company like Sage starting off as a fast follower to Uber and Lyft, we're saying, rather than having our own accounting department and having all these people on payroll that we're responsible for their health and their medical and their dental, let's just hire this software as a service accounting firm. They're like willing to pay accounting. They do it for mid to large size businesses. Let's work with them. They have their employees. We have ours. We can hire them to do the task, and we don't have to employ, because we don't need them all year long. You know what I mean? We have a software keep track of a lot of the statistics in an Excel spreadsheet. The driver's mileage, how much did they get? How much? Every driver has to get a W-9, and but that all that's automated now. So it's not like we don't need a team of hundreds of accountants on our payroll.
Nice, huh?
We have AI that basically does this. It's logged automatically every time there's these sub agreements. Every time a rider requests a ride and a driver accepts the ride, it's logged in a line of Excel, and then it's just totaled. There's just total up this column D from 1 down to 599, and get your total, and then that goes over to the accountant, and then it makes their jobs easier. So this is the dilemma of a modern company. It's like, and what I'm always fascinated about with your company is, and every company, is the idea of like, yeah, you want to create jobs and maintain jobs in the United States, but more and more we're becoming a world economy, and beyond that, we're becoming an automated society globally. So the question becomes like, when you're a CEO, you think of that the Wayne Gretzky phrase, like, you want to be where the puck is going, not where the puck is. And you're going to fail as a company if you try to operate using antiquated systems. So you have to innovate at the speed of innovation, and preferably you want to be set up to be thinking to where you want to be, where innovation will catch up with you. And in that way, that's the new growth model. Because traditionally, a lot of large companies, their motto was like, if you're not growing, you're dying. And they viewed growth in terms of acquisition and job creation. But now it's not so much about acquisition, it's about efficiency. And it's not about job creation in the United States. It's about, again, like, how do you use SaaS and become monetarily efficiency. So you have this synergy between what you're doing and what the services and functions that you're providing. And then how do you do that? Because you're competing on a world level now. You're competing globally. So it's a huge challenge. It's it just is what it is. It's not,
Yeah.
it's a challenge whenever you're the CEO of a company that's responsible for lives and all these people that what worked 10 years ago doesn't necessarily work now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how do you let people go, or can you retrain them? There's a article I read recently about AT&T that gave them praise. Actually, I believe it was AT&T. Yeah, that says exactly this. Like there's like hundreds, almost thousands. It might be thousands, like in the low thousands of jobs that are on the chopping block because of AI and where the puck is going. And rather than just waiting for that ball, for that shoe to drop, and then saying, "Oh, you guys are SOL and you're fired and good luck finding another job," they are looking at where the puck is going. They know that you could see their trajectory. You know what I mean? You could see. So they know the trajectory, but they're starting here and saying all these jobs, basically you have a 2-year time window, and we're going to give you the opportunity to start learning via free college, via free education, online, whatever. If you're willing to start training yourself, they're basically having more transparency with their employees, right? They're saying, hey guys, there's a good possibility that in 2 to 5 years, as early as 2 years, but as guaranteed by 5 years, you're not going to have a job as an accountant or whatever the case may be, or as a phone teleoperator. However, you're employed by us now, and here's the jobs we will need in 2 to 5 years. If you're willing to retrain, we're willing to do this with you, whether it's pay partial tuition or full tuition. And you got to applaud a company that's that big to be able to have that vision and insight, and have that ability to say, we're willing to meet you halfway if you're willing to take the initiative. Some people will and some people won't, right? Everybody's different, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and all businesses are different. The one thing about the pharma business, which gives us the way that we do it with the humans looking at everything being highlighted by the software, is that the law is your content. If you're putting something out from a pharmaceutical company, it must be reviewed by a human. You can't run it through an algorithm. You can't rely on an AI to look at this and go, oh yeah, no, this is okay. You need to have someone sign off on it and go, yeah, there's no adverse events here. There's no one saying, hey, I took your drug and my left genital got really large, or hey, I took your drug and I got hairy all over, or I lost weight. You need to have a human sign off on that.
How does that? But you guys are essentially monitoring not things that are put out. You're monitoring both. You're monitoring things that are put out by the moderators from the company and things that are put out by just regular people that are commenting on their channel.
Yeah.
Social media channels.
Yeah.
That rule, what you just described, wouldn't apply to just regular folk commenting on their social media channel. It would just only apply to the employee of that said company.
No, that applies to everybody. It sure does. If you go to a pharmaceutical company that creates a drug, and you say, "I took your drug,"
oh, okay,
and it
did this to me.
My left ear fell off.
It must be listened to.
Yeah, the company, since it's on their website, since you commented on their website, then they have 24 hours to report that to the FDA.
Fuck. Okay. So even if it's on social media, and then so part of your job becomes like, is this, even if it's a prank, like, do we determine if it's said in jest or not? It still needs reported. There needs to be formal papers. So, okay, so I remember you
a niche.
saying this.
It's a niche area right now that our company president has found,
Yeah, it's a good
which is
opportunity.
brilliant because
It's kind of
yeah,
obvious, actually.
yeah,
It's not that brilliant. It's like
yeah,
that's his job is to like
yeah,
go, fuck, here's an opportunity for us to like, they need this service, and they're kind of in a catch. They're kind of between a rock and a hard place. They have to pay that money to somebody, so it might as
yeah.
well be us. But you're still always going to have competition competing for that.
Oh my
Which
God,
you
yeah,
say,
we do.
here's why we do it better, and here's where we can save you the pennies, and then you got to massage you got to massage them so much so
Balls.
that the conversation that you're going to have tomorrow, it's like, how do you have that conversation to where they go, makes sense, but they don't feel like they're insulted, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
like because it's hard
that's
to
a conversation. Yeah, I mean that we have we have legal guys on our side. We have guys that do contracts. So while I will be at the meeting tomorrow, I will be there to put forth, explain to the auditors on the other side. Here's what we do. Here's what you're asking for. But here's what we do. What you're asking, like for example, they're asking us for, one of the auditors is asking us for like lists of, how many patients do we have? How many healthcare professionals do we have contact with? None. We don't have any. There are no patients that come to us. There are no healthcare professionals that come to us. They come to this person's page and we review it for them, but no one's coming to us, and so my job will be to explain to these people exactly what it is we do, and then I will just step away into the background and let the contract legal folks talk from there and go, here's what you need to give us for us to do this, or here's why we don't think this is necessary, and they'll go back and forth, and then we'll sort it out and we'll see what happens next week. But yeah, but it's just, there's that. Then it's a quarterly brand review that we do every 3 months for another company. That's coming up next week as well. So I'm working on that. And then there's a separate risk assessment for a company, all my clients, that's coming up next week. So there's 3 huge items that all got lumped in together in the same week in July, which is why this week is so ridiculously busy.
So, is there any way that you could prevent this grouping from happening next year? And
it won't happen next year. I've been here for 17 years, and this is the first time they've all fallen in like that. It's just, it's you can, if you find out soon enough, you can
move a meeting 1 week. Yeah, like even a couple. Yeah, like we this way or that.
Yeah, but this was just one of those storms that came about, and everything wound up falling into the same place. No, we can't do it next week because people are going to be on vacation. No, we can't do it the week before because people are going to be on vacation. No, we can't do the week before that because 4th of July holiday. So everything wound up getting funneled into this week.
Yeah.
And just and usually it's not the same manager that has all the clients. There'll be things where it's like, I'll have something coming up on this week, but then Debbie or Stacy or whoever that's another manager will have a client with something big that week. Well, that's fine, because then I'm working on one thing and they're working on another. This just happened to be 3 of my clients all coming into the same week. It was just ridiculous.
And do you not have an opportunity to say, hey,
we're trying to push the one back.
No, I mean, but is there an opportunity for you to get any help from anybody else, or that probably would not work?
It would be more trouble than it would be worth. It would wind up making more work because you'd have to get them caught up on everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
I mean, the audit, the one that we're meeting about tomorrow, that's been in the works since February. So there's a lot of information between February and now that's been going around. It's been coming down. So to catch somebody else up that has been reading through everything would just take too long.
Yeah, man, that's a lot. I mean, that's to have like your major clients all fall in that grouping is pretty wild. So, yeah, man. All right. Well, cool. Well, I guess we shouldn't keep you from it. And actually, believe it or not, I mean, we're almost an hour already. We're 45 minutes. That really flew since you showed up. T is still gone, which is the
he's helping his kid take a pee.
What we were discussing earlier, which is the title of his song. It's called "You're Gone," and he has. I was telling. That's what we were talking about with TT. Is another thing. Is I was like, what T is saying is like, I was like, dude. He's like, yeah, I put a black bar across Madonna's eyes, and it says "You're Gone." I'm like, yeah, it looks like you killed her. It looks like you're assassinating her. Like, the black bandage. I was like, you might as well put a gun on that thing. And he's like, I'm like, dude, you got to understand, like, nobody uses that vernacular. And like, unless you were born in the 50s and grew up in the 60s where like, hey, you're real hip, daddy. You're a real hipster. You're far out.
Right.
You didn't use any of that vernacular, which pretty much went extinct in the 70s.
Yeah.
The next extension of that was, you're far out. You're a hip daddy. You're gone, baby. That's where that was. And that's what your song's about. And everybody's going to misinterpret it as you're gone. Somebody's gone. So it's a sad song. If you put "You're Gone" as a title. So then, and like, we're like, I was like, that says like, and then he was like, I could change it to this or that. And there's another line in it, it's something much more empowering sounding about women. It's another line in the song. And we were like, yeah, make it that, instead of struggling against people's preconceptions of "you're gone." Like, if you read that in a liner note, you're going to expect a sad song. Sure. And then TT was like, yeah, I never liked that song because I was like, why is he not lamenting that she's gone? Like, I didn't understand it. Like, the song's a happy song, but it's "You're Gone." It's like, case in point, there it was. I was like, there it was, Monk. It's like, that's what it is. They're expecting one thing, and you're saying you're gone like an 80s Madonna, like you're super hip.
Right.
And it's like, nobody today is going to understand that. And then it's just going to confuse them and they're not going to like the song. And then TT basically like, yeah, that's totally the way that I interpreted that song.
Right.
I didn't like it because I was like, yeah, why doesn't he care that she's gone? Like, what a dick. It's like, that's not what is. So he's like, that happened tonight too. So that was another cool thing that happened. So overall, really great night. Glad I hosted the stream, and glad it was been productive for me. It's been, from an ethics perspective, just stuff that one dot led to another, and I was open enough to pay attention to what to the opportunities, and explore them. And as I was saying, like as Dan T is like, this is the artist way. It's the way of the artist, is to be open in the moment and open-minded. So when the universe presents the sign signals, you're not so tunnel visioned that you don't see them. And the universe is like, going this way. Yo, dummy, this is your exit. In 200 feet, you're going to miss it. And you're just like, fuck, I'm really trying to make this happen. And you don't see that shit. So you got to strip away the blinders. You got to be open. You got to be in the moment. When you do, things feel serendipitous. Things feel like the universe is helping you because you're paying attention to this shit when they, it's like you're problem solving something. So I was like, my day all day from the beginning was like, I was able to laugh about it because I'm like, I contacted 4 bands and all of them want the same fucking time slot that Black Cat Moon wants.
Right.
It's Friday, 8 to 11. None of them not only don't want the Saturday, they're like not available. But I'm like, I know other bands. I've been doing this long enough. I got a big enough Rolodex. You ain't breaking my heart, people.
Right.
You ain't gonna ruin. It's not gonna happen. Like, I will fill it, and I have enough experience and wisdom. Like, I can laugh about it, and then be open to like a new thing. And that's when this other band came on
Decided
my
to-
radar
yeah.
during this thing. So I was productive. T was productive with his new single that they're releasing as Black Hat Moon. And then you showed up and the last hour just flew by. T's not back yet. So I'd vote, you know, we can definitely
Murder him.
yeah, we don't gotta wait for T. TT did post this at 11. This was an hour ago. She posted. She thinks I'm funny AF when I drink white boy style. I'm funny AF.
All the time.
All the time. I would love to make that statement. Honestly, I can't make that statement. But I will say that I am funnier when I drink. Most of the time.
Sure.
Sometimes I cry in my beer. Sometimes I will cry, and sometimes I can be an asshole. So you get the full gamut here, you know, with Adhawk. I'm a human being. You can't pigeonhole me into being the lucky fun. I wish I was always the lucky, go happy fun guy, but I'm not all the time.
No, I'm not either.
Sometimes we want to murder people.
Like
legitimately chop you in pieces, and shit. Like I'm like I get sent these crazy things. I've been using Opera browser instead of Google browser.
Yeah.
And when you create a new tab in Opera, it shows you like headlines, like news headlines, and they're awful. Like shit that's like, why are you showing me that somebody dismembered somebody in a bathtub and then was caught in like fucking Florida? Like it's like this would never have been on my radar, and I don't necessarily want to. You know, but it's a lot of weird shit. It's like, you know, I mean, it's of course every shooting that happens, but like even weird things like this person was stabbed, and
I know that feeling. Dude, the
weird
one
shit.
time we went down to Virginia to go to our vacation place down there, Karen and I, and we were checking into our unit, turned on the radio just as we were unloading stuff. There's a local news thing on. This doesn't really relate to the internet at all, but I relate to that feeling that you get when you see that kind of shit. And as we turn on the radio, the first thing I hear is a female DJ, you know, giving the news, and she says, you know, earlier today, a Virginia woman was arrested for cooking her baby in a microwave oven.
Yeah, shit like that.
Oh.
Shit like that. Where you're like, fuck, I'm down here to have a good time. Why are you giving me this? Why do I need to know this?
Yeah.
Why are you putting this in my reality?
Yeah, and then like the 3-month-old was pronounced dead on arrival.
Like, you know, people were capable of that.
What a fucking nightmare! Like that's a fucking horror. They don't even put that kind of shit in horror movies. Yeah. That's like too fucking dark and evil to even, you know, like you took a fucking baby, and put it in a microwave. In a microwave oven.
And it's even if it's not your baby, that's still terrible.
Baby. Yeah,
it's more terrible when it's your baby. Like how fucking
unless that baby
hopeless must you be to say I love you? It's worse than the love knife from Tenacious D. I love you so much, baby, that I won't expose you to this awful world. I'm gonna miss you, baby. And crying is like that would be an awful scene in a fucking movie.
And like, apparently it was in that situation, it was because the baby wouldn't stop crying. That's why she put him in the microwave.
Duh.
Which is and my
interrupting my heroin injection. Right? I'm trying to be happy with the heroin here, baby. Can't you see the rubber? You're going in the microwave. That's it.
Microwave.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, and I reasoned it out. The way I reasoned it out was, unless you were a guy whose baby had eaten its way out of your wife, and then when you brought it home, ate its older sibling, that's the only time you put a 3-month-old in the microwave.
Yeah,
if that baby. If it's a chud baby that eats its way out of your wife, have its own
clearly
mother.
not human at that point. Like it's an alien
You can't stop it.
hybridization of
You can't stop
something
it.
that's
If it's 3 months old and ate its way out of a mother,
it's demonically possessed.
Right.
There's something. I mean, in her, she could right. Then they do this shit. It's like where she fucked up was telling the police it wouldn't stop crying.
Right,
If she would have said, "I heard demonic voices coming from my baby,"
she would
she
have
would
gotten
have
away
got
with
off
it.
with 5 years.
Right.
5 years. Right?
In a padded round. 5 years in a padded round.
20 years, but you'll serve 5,
Yeah.
And one of them will be in a pattern. Yeah, something like that. Like yeah, legal systems, it's fucked up. Humans are fucked up. The history of the world's fucked up. Somehow, we're all living in this little flash pan of existence. When you look at the history of the world, it's fucking crazy. This little, like I said, the amount that we were able to fuck up the world in just 200 years, some ways we've marvelized it in glorious amounts. Other ways, with like global warming, it's been, from the Earth's perspective, it's like, I need to shake you fucking fleas off my back. Like you're lighting too many fires on my back. Like, you know what I mean? You fucking shaved off all my hair. We show the trees because it's the Earth talking. It's like, and then you're turning them into like you're fucking with me. I'm gonna destroy you. So it's like, and then it's that, and then it's like it's an asteroid that could, there's no question there's been an extinction event. Like all the oil that we depend on, that's because there was an extinction event. Like, make no mistake about it, there was an extinction event that was like, here's the Earth, here's an asteroid. Like tectonic shift.
Yeah.
Great flood happens. It's written in every religion before there was writing. That's why, because that fucking happened. And then you have people getting so upset they're cooking their fucking babies in a microwave. Yeah. Where did we go wrong, civilization? Why aren't we all like, woohoo? We're here. Like we have all this shit. And like, why isn't everybody happy right now? Because we've engineered our existence to make some people unhappy because it motivates other people to be better productive or more productive or more work. And it's a weird world. It's a weird, world.
It's a weird, wacky world there.
Weird and wacky, but it's marvelous. And I'm so happy that we have our basic necessities taken care of. We have a roof over our head. I got a hot shower. I love feeling the water. Love feeling that shower. It's a magic. To me, that's
not just the necessities. We're in a place where we're able to get a little bit of luxuries as well. You're able to get your Miller Lite and your Jack Daniels. I can get my 10 high bourbon and a bottle of Wiggle something. We're able to get a few luxuries here and there.
I mean, and that's not. It's not like those luxuries are miracles to other cultures. And if you would have went back 200 years, and like certainly like everybody would just like you'd be hung as a witch for this fucking thing 200 years ago.
Oh yeah.
This they would be like, that's fucking genius. What is this metal? Yeah. We're still making this out of steel and tin.
How long does that stay good in there? You're telling me that the beverage that you put within that container can stay good for nigh on 6 months to a year? What kind of magic is that?
Yeah, definitely a lot of magic and a lot to be grateful for, but yet motherfuckers are still cooking their babies in microwaves out there. And is it the thing you have to wonder is like, how much are they born insane and how much has society and repression and other fucking shit, other people's shit, like, did she have a daddy that like that did something terrible to her whole life? Like, right? Like, I've been raped since I was 2.
Right.
Something that fucking was she fucked crazy? Like, where did her crazy originate from? How do we go back to the source and prevent other people from doing the same shit? Why do we have so many shootings? Why are people going on mass shootings and then killing themselves?
That's like that.
Why does it happen so much?
That's that flash fiction piece I just wrote last week. The Descent, with there will always be, there are always, I can't remember what I wrote now. With the,
what did you write? I'm giving you the spotlight to put extra pressure on you.
I have it right here.
Paraphrase it.
The like I said in the story was that the fact was there were always stones and clubs or tightly focused energy beams, and they were always used as weapons. There was always anger or greed or superiority which created factions. There were always feathers adorning headdresses or medals pinned on shoulders, showing how many victories the individual had to their name. There are always warriors.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, that's just...
How long of a read is this? Can I ask you to do a read of it before we leave to close out the show?
Yeah, that's only a 5-minute read.
Yeah! Woo! For those of you who stuck around in the big room, this is now happening. Oh, man, this is worth waiting for. So what a great show out of nothing this actually ended up being, because BB, I'll let you set up the story. But
sure.
if you follow us on a weekly basis, you'll know that he was talking about this in our last episode, and now the payoff. And so, this is the culmination. The time has elapsed. You kept yourself alive. You haven't murdered any babies. You're not in trial for anything. Congratulations to you.
Alive.
Hey, the monk's back. Mm-hmm. So the payoff to this episode, T, is we're gonna drop out. But
yes,
while we were waiting for you, we're gone for a long time. Fen must
we
have
started
some
talking about
bad dreams.
We started talking about microwaving babies.
Probably what we're talking about. Go ahead, BB.
We started talking about microwaving babies and what's wrong with the planet today, and just
why can't people just be grateful for having a hot shower? Like, we live in one of the most civilized worlds, but it's like it's engineered to create disrest.
Correct.
And to motivate
one capitalism
group
is about.
To feel superior over another group. It's engineered that way, and it always has been throughout
the class. It's the class system. It's a mental awareness. Those who don't have enough mental awareness will always be utilized by those who actually have the dreams. Those who actually dream how to organize society will utilize those people around them that don't have their own dreams strong enough to be. And this is going to go back to, this is actually going to go back to what I was going to discuss when we were talking about James Brown and talking about Prince.
We did.
And these people that were
taskmasters to a degree.
Leaders. Taskmasters to their own vision. Yes. And they viewed those that weren't them as tools to the machine that needed to be the cog in the vision.
To execute
it. And that's always been the way. BB
and they
Rumble,
said you're replaceable.
BB Rumble is a great chess player, and he's made it pretty fucking clear several times that he's utilized us to his own means and the people around him.
As much as I can.
Right? As much as he can, which makes fucking perfect sense. And so this is, like you said, it's always been going on. It's just who is the people that are confident. And that's something that I've only learned in the last 5 years. Confidence is key to manifesting vision. And the people around you will look to that vision of the confident. And it's always been this way. And because most people don't have confidence in the unseen.
to gain other people's confidence, you first have to have confidence in yourself.
Correct.
And
at that point, those other people become the manifested as part of the manifest destiny. No. But no, they become the other cogs of the factory of the machine. You know what I mean? Like it's a collaboration. Everybody wants a purpose, but again,
so you give them a purpose and you say, look, it's
to build a pyramid, you need more than one mind. You need more than the mathematical genius engineer.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, it's interesting though that's also something I've always subscribed to, the concept that in order for people to have confidence in you, you have to have confidence in yourself. And isn't it a weird, like, what statement does it make where all the stories that you hear from inside, for example, the inner Trump circle, is that Trump himself is always seeking approval, that he does not exude an overconfidence in himself in his inner circle, that he's always seeking someone else to tell him, I was great there, right? Wasn't I great? Wasn't that awesome? And yet he seems to so naturally have so many people giving their confidence over to him.
He doesn't do wait on camera. He does the opposite.
Correct.
On camera.
Correct. And so, and that's the exact thing. That's what makes him the perfect scapegoat. He's the perfect scapegoat and a figurehead to the invisible hands, but he is the perfect somehow.
So he's a submissive to those amongst the powerful. Correct. Behind the scenes. He plays the part of submissive to those who empower him and they're able to give him money. And because that's what they want. They don't want to feel threatened. But then when he goes in front of the camera, he plays the dog.
To the people who want to be submissive to those who have money
and led.
Because I mean he's
like,
the champion.
Tell us what jobs you're going to have.
Hold on.
So that we have
Correct. He is the champion of the submissive will worker.
That's a great key, though, Bri. That's a great observation.
That's a really fucking great observation, and that's why he's champion to the working.
Well, that's why he's so effective, right?
To the working class, those who only feel their effectiveness in life through being a self-servient, right?
Subservient
to somebody else.
Yeah, and
because that's what he is.
It's the difference, and from their perspective. I never blame the worker, because sometimes you want to be the worker, because I've been on both sides. And like when you're the CEO, you never stop thinking about your business because you're wearing so many hats. You're thinking of so many things. Your mind never shuts down, and it's difficult to shut it down. Like a lot of CEOs have to they're learning meditations. Like, teach me how to create some downtime, because I'm at the fucking beach right now and I can't enjoy myself.
Elon Musk
thinking about marketing and advertising and accounting and all this other shit. So to be the cog, which most 80 to 90% of America is admittedly, whether it's insight or whatever it is, they're like, I don't want to be a manager.
It's like what Loki says in Avengers, man.
Huh?
It's like Loki in Avengers.
What does he say?
When Loki makes his first appearance to the general public in Avengers.
Oh, in Germany.
Yeah, and he's like, he duplicates himself, so it looks like there's a bunch of him, and there's a big crowd there, and he's got his big staff, and he's like kneel, and everyone kneels, and he's just like, there. Doesn't that just feel better? You don't have to worry about making decisions. Just bow before me, and I will lead you to glory.
Yep, that's what it is. Like and the reason is that if listen, here's what I want. I want to be able to eat good food. I want to have somebody that loves me, and I want to make babies with that somebody. That is the three.
In other words, be immortal with that somebody.
Have your bills paid. Have a roof over your head. So let's start there. I feel really great. I have a roof over my head. Got my own place. Let's go out and find a woman. that I could procreate with. Because we are creators. This is the
Yeah,
God
yeah.
in us. Like
That's
everybody's
another one.
creating.
Yep.
Most people want to procreate because it's so obvious. Like, you know,
That's
you're not
how,
making a
yeah.
piece of art. You're not making a piece of music. You don't have those challenges. Like you created a baby, it's done. And now you get to manage that. And you're constantly working on it. And hopefully you do it right. And you don't eat your child or put it in the microwave.
Right, yeah.
Those are wrong turns, people. Do
Wrong
not go
turns,
those turns. But most people, they see a healthy vision for their children that they, you know. But anyway, the point is that they
As
want
a provider,
job that they say,
again,
listen,
as a provider,
I want to be a provider, and if you can promise me that I'll never get fired, and I can show up and work from 8 to 5, if it's shoveling shit, if it's changing parts on a car, if it's picking up garbage, picking up refuse, whatever it is.
it's
That's
it's
cool
all
with me,
valuable
'cause at the end of the
assets.
day, I don't have to
all
think about it
valuable.
anymore.
But you
I
can
want a way
drop
to
it.
shut it off. I want a way to
Yep.
shut it off. In the Matrix,
Okay.
nature, right? The blue pill and the red pill, that dude that shoots him, he goes,
Oh, yeah.
I just want a way to shut it off, right?
I know this steak isn't real. Yeah. So Adhawk, you've worked in the film industry.
Yeah.
You know, you know, I work in the film industry when I want to now. And I've been on the side of gang boss and being in charge of shit. And, you know, when they offer you stuff like that, after you've done it,
Gang
you're like,
gang
tain't
boss,
worth
gang
it.
boss.
Tain't worth it. I would much rather clock out at night. Joshua Hogan, a brilliant artist, one of the individuals
And a beautiful guy.
beautiful human
humanoid,
being. Go to
lovely
Boxheart
mind,
Gallery, boxheartgallery.com.
visionary mind,
Go to
great guy.
Joshua Hogan as an artist. He's a brilliant
Shout out to
mind.
Boxheart.
Yes, indeed. But he's one of the individuals, if not the sole responsible individual that got me into the movie industry. And he's stepped out of it for years now to focus on his craft.
Something else.
On his craft and their gallery, and is successful, and his art, his visual art is very successful
Not to
globally
say
now.
that it's easy for him.
But the thing
It's
is
quite a
what
struggle,
he
I'm
told
sure.
me. Wait, what he told me before he bowed out. Two things. One is that everybody wanted to work under him as the charge as for the painting, because everybody wanted to work
Because he
with
wasn't
him.
an asshole or what?
Because he was a calm mind, he was confident, and allowed things to happen in the now, like we discussed earlier,
Interesting.
to everybody around him. But he couldn't sleep at night when he was in charge, when he was the charge, because he was constantly, he was solving problems, and he couldn't sleep. Because even in his dreams, he was solving those riddles that needed to be done for everybody else. And the second thing he told me is, do not extend yourself in this industry past the hours that you are being paid for, because you will only be praised for that moment, and it will not extend past the event. So what he was saying is, if you only work to your pay scale and your hourly rate, do not sacrifice your happiness and your family, thinking that it's going to give you accolade into something else, because you don't want the something else, and they will never give it to you. Because when you're working in the film industry, it's project to project to project to project, and everything that you've sacrificed on that last project is left behind. And if you give your glass, if you hit your ceiling, they will expect your ceiling.
Yeah.
The exact same pay rate.
It's fucking true.
Adhawk told me, when you're in the film industry, they expect your life. Period. It's a turnover. They want you to be there for them, because you are there for their vision. And this jumps back to what we were discussing earlier. If you are the king of your vision, or the mindset that can provide a bigger pulse of identity, vision, creativity, all those will happily come along to create something amazing. And that's what people do in the film industry or the auto industry or the war industry. And nevertheless, they think they're a part of something bigger than they can conceive, or they want to be, or they want
idea of religions as well. Everybody wants to be a part of something, of a mass movement. And you feel it, whether it's a concert, what you're setting up the concert, you know,
Prime
the
example.
Roadie song by Tenacious D, you know?
Yeah, the road is fucking hard.
The Roadie,
but nevertheless,
you know, it's
the Roadie.
It's like they have that song Roadie. It's a newer song, but it's hilarious. And, you know, it's like he cries on the side because people love the sound that's going out, and he gets great pride from setting up those speakers, but he never gets the praise, but he feels the pride. Anyway, there's always going to be this struggle between the people running the company who have the vision and then, you know, the workers, and it's never going to change. And it goes back to Egypt. And I look at the temples of Egypt, the pyramids of Egypt, and you
will see them and touch them soon.
Yeah, man. And but you know, I love conspiracy theories and then thinking like all these different ways, like how do they fucking do this with like the granite and all this? And like, I've watched every possible conceptualization of how they've done these things, from the mystical and the magical to the supernatural to using water and buoyancy. I think there's a lot of logic there. It's possible. I've seen some things, physics that you think would be impossible that they make possible. But here's the bottom line. I think that those people, you have a fucking growing population because people love to fucking make babies. This is what they do when you're born a human and you're made in God's image. And what is the God spark in us, T? Learn this from you because you said it. Is create, you know, the ability to create. That's the God. The God in all of us is creativity, right?
Yes.
So, but then it's how do you manifest that? Do you make music? You want to become a musician? You want to become an artist? You want to become a painter? You want to become something in the creative realm? You can create. It's fucking baked right in there in the word. Most people, 89% of it, you want to mate and you want to make babies, and they'll stop at one. There's no fucking limit. So some people are fucking hogs about it, and as long as they don't have any consequence to it, right? This is where I agree with the Republicans. It's like, yeah, it's kind of human nature. Like if you have fucking 10 babies and you know that the government's gonna give you money, why would you? Like at the basis of who we are as bugs, it's fucking recreation of the species. And when you make it pleasurable, what the fuck else do you want to do with your life? If you had nothing else to do, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? You'd drink, party, have a good time, have a lot of sex, and probably listen to music. Like, what else would you want to do? You know what I mean? So, like, when you give people the ability to do this, and it's happening at a mass scale, how do you manage it? Can you put rules in place that say, sorry, if you have more than 2 babies, we will kill your 3rd baby?
That happened in China.
Did. And everybody thought they were absolutely horrible people to do it. But at the same point, it's like, yo, when you're a leader and you have all these people that are creating more mouths, it's like, we don't have any more fucking jobs for you morons to do, to feel fucking important so that you can keep reproducing. And when your whole goal is like, oh, what do you want to do today, honey? I don't know. Let's have sex. Oh, do you want to have another baby? Sure. Like, you know, we might have another baby. Or even if the conversation is, I do want to have sex. It feels great, doesn't it? Sure it does. But what if we have another baby? Government will take care of it. You're fucked. You're fucked. At that point, the government, the higher ups are going,
or can't use a condom to prevent a child because our religion says we can't.
Now, this is where the conversation with Brian's solution on how to do this, you change the 8-hour workday to a 4-hour workday, and you extend the clock from a 9 to 5 to like as many hours if there's 24 hours, divide that
You
into
just
4
have
different
different
chips.
people doing.
Yeah, because
the
money is
job.
a fiat currency. So just give everybody enough money, pay them enough money as they would have made for the 8
right.
hours to work.
There's the twilight people. There's
You
the nighttime people. There's the
you
daylight.
double the amount of jobs, and like people are going, oh well, if we raise the minimum, it's very, very, very relevant today. People are going, if you raise the minimum $15 an hour, you're really still making minimum wage. Yeah, great. You're a fucking genius. You figured out that all money is fake. It is. It's all fake. It's a way for you to give you a reward to go buy something. It's an exchange of value.
Yeah,
but if you have to create value, to get something.
It's an indirect barter system, is what it is.
Indirect. Yeah,
it's an indirect barter system because you used to go to a guy and go, "Hey, that cow looks delicious. I'd like to buy that cow and make it into hamburgers." Well, I raised this cow. You know what I need? I need a new barn for this cow. I could build you that barn. Give me that cow. If you make the barn, we'll do. And you go out and build a barn, you get a cow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now it's
and you get a team of people and that whole
the original term.
Yeah. Now the deal is, well, I don't need that cow. I know how to build that barn. But man, I like that horse that other guy's got. You don't need a barn. Hey, if I build the barn for you, can you give me something that I could give to that guy? That guy would go, yeah, I'll take that and take for the horse. And they said, yeah, how's gold sound? And for a long time, they said, that sounds perfect. Here's a piece of paper that tells you how much gold I just gave you. And then at some point, they said, you know what? Don't tell anybody. But the paper doesn't actually mean gold anymore. It's just paper. Don't tell anybody, though. Don't tell anybody. No, still keep all the gold in the big Fort Knox. Don't make people have gold feel more important. That's what happened.
And we really need the gold for foil plating our satellites for re-entry. Gold has a purpose other than a store of value. It's better.
That's how it became a store of value.
Yeah, it shouldn't be just stored. We actually need it for little components in these magical devices and other things. So
all right, I'm gonna have to bail out here, folks.
It hasn't been audited for a long time. But TK, before you showed up, he was gonna read a story.
Fuck that.
So that was gonna be our full circle thing. So
fuck that. I stymied that shit.
It got kind of stymied, but it was a good conversation. But it ties back into his story. Actually,
3 hours, 22 minutes, and 33 seconds. It was.
All right, Brian. Take us out, man.
22,
Take us out,
33.
Take us out. 5 minutes. I'll give you the spotlight.
Okay. Well, I already read this for, I think, both of you. I don't remember, but
yeah.
Let's find out.
I know I read it for the monk. I can't remember if Adhawk was there still or not, or if he disappeared.
This is for perpetuity. This is for recording.
This is from the Iron Rider challenge, second month. Mm-hmm. Gave us some pictures that we had to work off of, and we had 7 days to create a story based on the pictures. And the pictures were basically a set of runes, a guy sitting on a pier with some smoke in front of him, a box of cobalt blue with the words cobalt blue on it, and a close-up of a feather. Those were the pictures. And I wrote this story called... Oh, I did that reading today, too, by the way, earlier this afternoon for the podcast for that Space-Time magazine.
Oh, awesome. That was today. That's great.
Yeah, it went great. Went great. It was me. It was actually... There's me and 3 other people that did readings. The winner, somebody who just had a story published in the magazine, and the editor of some other magazine.
Tell us when that was happening so we could tune in, but I guess that wasn't an option.
For some reason she didn't send it. Karen saw an advertisement for it somehow.
Okay.
When it started, but I'll get a clip
algorithm. Good.
Oh, she registered for the Space Time magazine. I see. Okay, but the story I wrote was called The Descent. Cobalt sat alone in this now dark realm. The only light was that which was given off by the souls he had harvested during the descent. He could feel the warmth from their fear and anger. It nourished him and gave him those few moments of contentment that he lived for. If this was living, he wasn't sure anymore if he qualified as something that was living. He wasn't even entirely sure who or what he was. From time to time, some being would scream, "It's Cobalt, run!" or something similar, as if they had heard of him before but never expected to actually encounter him. But in the end, whether there was some vague recognition of him or not, the result was always the same. A civilization brought to its knees, and the last bits of energy from every life form drained away. History erased. He had done this across thousands of planets, or maybe entire universes. And while there were nearly infinite variables in each one of them, there was always one commonality. A belief that, somewhere, there was a higher life form, or enlightened society, which was much more advanced and had evolved past the concept of hatred and war. Cobalt had never found such a thing. It didn't matter if it was a single solitary planet and all the life forms were similar to each other, or multiple civilizations, all of different colors, languages, and beliefs, traveling back and forth across oceans, whether it be water or space or some other element or chemical. It didn't matter if it was stones and clubs or tightly focused energy beams. The fact was, there were always stones and clubs or tightly focused energy beams, and they were always used as weapons. There was always anger or greed or superiority, which created factions. There were always feathers adorning headdresses or medals pinned on shoulders, showing how many victories the individual had to their name. There are always warriors. And warriors always endure, even when they are no longer needed. A society which has truly embraced the concept of seeking enlightenment will, in most situations, still cling to their warriors, just in case some lower race tries to take something by force, or needs to be shown the right way to live, or the proper god to follow. The irony is that in those rare situations where the society focuses itself on attaining a higher, peaceful form of existence, retires its warriors and raises its philosophers to the positions of control that allow them to guide their people towards this utopia, it is inevitable that some other civilization comes along and deems them weak. Shortly after that, the only thing remaining are empty archways and ruins. The cycle then repeats ad nauseum, unless there is a reset. A cleansing so thorough as to return things to the time when the stars were first born. A time where a planet has a chance to breathe for a few billion years before the concept of consciousness once again invades its surface. The descent into history being erased. This was, Cobalt told himself, his purpose. It was what he existed for. It was why the universe had given him this hunger that was only satiated by the completion of the descent. He didn't know if he had been born or if he had been created at the same time as the universe. He had no memory of his parents, family, or society, or if there had ever been one for him. He had not even understood the concept of growing up until the first time he had drained the spark of existence from a young sentient. He still remembered how he had been fascinated on the difference between the energy of the young and the old, how time seemed to inexorably wash away that part of the life force which was referred to as hope or dreams. For a while, Cobalt had believed that perhaps this was the answer, and when he was taking a civilization through the descent, he would leave the young to recover and rebuild. He had thought that their higher ability to hope and dream would keep them from hating each other and build something that would exist in harmony with the universe. This was always a disaster. Those early times were the first and only age when Cobalt believed there could be some sort of balance between these beings in the universe. But as civilization after civilization disappointed him, he became convinced that he was, to put it simply, the universe's champion. Any one of these populations, if left unchecked indefinitely, would ultimately advance to the point where it could discover the base nature of the universe, the very core of existence. And when that happened, there would be no more resets. There would be no descent. There would be no second chances. They would attempt to manipulate it into something that they could use, and in so doing would end any reality where the universe existed. So, as the light from the last lives in this history faded, Cobalt took one last breath before moving on to his next destination. He was certain this next one would be no different than all of the others. The civilizations on this next system had confined themselves to one small blue orb and had already attempted to exterminate themselves multiple times. Earth was certain to be one of the more boring descents. And that is The Descent.
Absolute fucking perfection, man. Absolute perfection. It's like, it's a warning. It's heroic. It puts it all into absolute beautiful perspective. Hearing it again, I'm actually able to hear it.
Thank you.
You know, like every time I listen to it,
it gets better and better every time you listen.
Yeah, because you
the truth,
can align with it. It's an absolute fucking truism, and not only that, it's a perspective outside of our own.
Right?
That's the key to it. You know what I mean? That when you go global, when you go outside of your hood and you go outside of your perspective, which we've talked about many times on this episode, that perspective is the key to manifestation and your reality. Once you go intergalactic, now that's the real perspective. And the truth is, we've tried to exterminate ourselves many times over.
Many times.
We have nothing to offer anybody else outside of our own little blip of blue, because we can't get outside mentally and connect with the huge consciousness of the source of it all, and fucking stop seeing difference, duality. And there it is right there. And what was very interesting, what is very fascinating about Cobalt in this story is Cobalt does not even understand or know where he came from.
Right.
Which that's what is killing Earth. Everybody has a belief of where they came from, and they'll fight for it. And it's a tiny spot on a tiny spot, And so Cobalt wants to understand his purpose in life, and each one of us born again with the belief of an identity to something, believes they have a purpose, but they're still dying in the process and killing each other for this purpose.
The purpose is
doing the exact same thing. And again, it goes back to what Adhawk was saying, is the procreation thing.
When you believe that's your purpose, how many times can you do it before you start harming the guys that are like, there's only so many fucking jobs. We can't make any more jobs for you fucking stupid people to do. So we have to come up with a new solution.
Is to have something live beyond your own,
beyond war. It's not war,
and not to connect to something beyond your own mortality. That is the fucking counter position. If you procreate out of duality, your spawn will always fight what exists. And so the human existence, and that's what Cobalt is fighting in a way, is to how do I connect to all of these lives that believe they exist, and all of these planets that believe they have a purpose, when he's giving the trident down of what is your existence. And in the end, he's putting the same smackdown on all of these existences and all of these civilizations that rise above consciousness or a duality consciousness, and they go passive. And once they go singularity and stay on a single blip, they get eradicated. So what BB was saying is, once the warrior, when the duality dies, they go passive, and somebody arises to consume them.
Yeah, there's never a situation where that heightened society abides, because they eventually get to a point that Cobalt sees this society right here would be able to coexist with the universe. This society has retired their warriors and raised their philosophers up. This society could do it. But here comes this other society,
Right,
that has not retired its warriors.
right.
And who says, oh, you may be enlightened, but you guys are worshiping the wrong God. Or you guys believe in socialism or communism or capitalism or whatever it is, and that's wrong. And we have these warriors.
Again, duality.
So we're going to show you what's the right way to live. And then they wipe out the higher society, and then you just begin the cycle ad nauseum.
And I'm going to interject this real quick, is that I think Cobalt is a beautiful manifestation of a 3D density vibration reality. He is the fucking he's Kali.
Right.
If you Kali, you know Kali, right?
Yeah.
The Indian goddess, it's death and life. Kali,
Right.
She holds all these severed heads, and she has a tongue hanging out of her mouth that is leaking blood. And California is fornication of Kali. That's based off of, anyway. But nevertheless, that's the perfect manifestation of a 3D conscious reality. And so what I want to set aside is BB Rumble, this is a perfect fucking 3D reality lesson that I maybe told for generations again and again as a myth, a mythos, and all of the myths are based off of truisms. This is like a mathematical Aesop fable for a 3D reality.
People are going to start worshiping Cobalt, there's going to be
and a
that
Kali
grows up around it.
Yeah, and there will be a country on a West Coast destined to die, and building, the Maya, this bullshit reality.
I've always just been one step behind creating religion.
It's like L. Ron Hubbard before
Ron Hubbard.
So.
But what I do need to say, what I was about to say, is that before completely acknowledging how beautiful and brilliant this writing is, for a 3D mentality, is that those civilizations like Lemuria and like Atlantis, when you manifest a culture that rises above a duality mindset, they no longer cling to the perception of the 3D reality, and they start vibrating higher, just like Fringe. You remember the television show Fringe?
Oh yeah.
Once you start vibrating at a different frequency, the neighborhood you live in is a new neighborhood. The old one does not exist anymore. So when Cobalt actually comes in and eradicates everybody, he's not really eradicating, or the other manifesting warrior set comes in, and then Cobalt comes in. Right. He's kind of actually erasing the undoing of those who have already left. Or what does Christianity call it? Ascension?
Ascension?
Yeah, is that what Christianity called it?
With the rapture?
Right? No. Ascension. Right. Ascension. It's like
Ascension happened right before the rapture, where all the people that
no, I'm not talking mass quantity. I'm like on saint to saint level, or Mary ascended to heaven. Like this ascension was really just Kundalini. You know what I mean? Like leaving the vibrational perception of all the other knuckleheads that want to keep you in their fucking sitcom.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's all these different alliterations and like different like
and I
things
think
that
you're
you're
nailing
exploring there, TK, with you know, where are the parables, what's meant to be
Right.
taken literally, and where does art follow life, where does life follow art?
Right.
What are the lessons to be learned between them? What are we
you're
paying
nailing
attention
it
to?
with this
So
one.
this again, that's
I
a
hope.
great.
Thank you.
We brought this conversation full circle from an episode that was never supposed to happen. And it was a great episode. Thank you everybody for showing up. We will conclude it there.
All right.
Thank you.
Good night.
Until next week. Live
Are you gonna roll it?
Yeah, I can roll.
Can you roll it?
I can roll it.
I think you can.
You roll.
Go live yourself. Go live yourself.
I can roll it.
All right.
Good
Much
night,
love.
everyone.
Love you guys.
I'm scarred for life, but I'm set for life, and I'm set for life, but I'm scarred for life, and I'm coming at you. I'm fucking crazy. I'm fucking psycho, fucking insane.
That's the fucking chorus right there.
You nailed it,
That was
dude.
good.
You nailed it. You nailed it, and you visually transformed into fucking Joe Rogan. There,
You
dude.
did.
You fucking,
Oh, Joe Rogan. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you did. You visually transformed
That's
into Joe Rogan. It was amazing.